What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys can hear me properly. Let me go ahead and check the stream real quick just to make sure. Let's see if I can find you. Make sure the quality is up there. We want it to be as high quality as humanly possible. All right, let's get into this gameplay. All right, so today we're just gonna be playing Warzone or Call of Duty or just whatever the fuck we decide to do today. Let me show y'all a song I've been working on. It's not finished yet. It's nowhere near close, but let me show y'all just a little bit right here. Oh shit, damn, that sounds stupid. I'm not even saying words. Actually, let me not even show you guys this because y'all don't even gonna understand it. Because realistically, it's not even. This is like the roughest of rough versions. So let me not even show you it. But let me show y'all the beat. I'll show y'all a little bit of the beat real quick. Make a beat stars, I don't know. But yeah. Hey. Yeah, okay. So let's get into this gameplay now. So we're gonna be let me warm up. Let me warm up with some regular Call of Duty. Some regulars, some regs, you know how it gets. Some reggaetoni. All right. I was watching my stream for a little bit there just to make sure everything was going all right. Yo, actually, you know what, bro? I might even react to Destiny. I might do this little Call of Duty stream, and then later on, I'm going to react to one of Destiny's streams and give my own opinions on it, and then cut it up. Yo, actually, yes. That's what I'm going to do. Because what the fuck? It's so hard for me to, like, sit down and do YouTube videos the way I used to do it. Like, if you know, I'm not even going to mention it because those videos are super fucking cringe. Let me mute this fucker. Yeah, but those videos are super fucking cringe. But, like, I used to make videos when I was 14, bro. I started doing this music shit. I started doing this entertainment shit, like YouTube, all that shit when I was 14, bro. I started out young as shit. And fucking... Back then, my videos were a little cringe. Like, fam, I played Minecraft, bro. And my Minecraft videos, honestly, were pretty mature for the fucking age I was. But, like, they were stuttery as fuck. Like, 1 frame per every minute, almost. Like... I mean, that's a little bit of over-exaggeration, but, like, still, it was not good at all. Like, at all. Oh, fuck. What do they mean by remove?
Domination.
Fuck.
We're taking Bravo.
Oh, they lost that. Wait,
We're
no.
losing Bravo. We're taking Charlie.
Oh, but I can't look around. Yeah, hold on. I have to change that. Yeah, there you go. My fault. No, but I've been running this sniper lately. It's kind of trash, not gonna lie. The ADS speed is really slow. I don't like it. But this one's not too shabby. This one right here, especially when you get all these other attachments for it, like this and some of these other things. Once you're able to like actually have it move quickly, it tends to be really good. So some of the things I'm trying to upgrade or get is this. Probably more leaning towards this one because it has the most ADS speed. But I don't think it's much different than this one. It's a lot different actually. I'm gonna get that one. But I have to unlock it with all sorts of other snipers and blah 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 blah. And I'm not trying to do that shit, bro. Mad work for no reason. Mad work for no reason. Oh, y'all, something I want to say. Y'all see those new Razer blades? If y'all don't know, I'm a super big Razer fanboy, even though their batteries are really bad, and you have to figure out how to unplug your laptop and do all this other stuff and whatever, whatever. Like,
Domination. We are taking Alpha. We control Alpha. Secure Bravo. We have the lead.
first kill.
Bravo secure.
I have to get on the ledge, bro. It's so annoying. Whoa. Somebody's around here, for sure. Just don't know where. Ah, dude, I was so fucking low on health. Alright, let me make sure the stream is doing well. Gotta check up on you guys.
We are losing Bravo.
You know what? The
We have
graphics
lost Bravo.
isn't horrible. Hold on. Let me make sure there's not too much static. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much static. It looks alright. Ah, fuck.
Securing objective Bravo. Enemy is securing Alpha.
Actually, you know what I can do? Let me find a easy game, and I'll react to Destiny. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's change. I'm gonna change the stream name. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Let me. Game capture. Yup. Let me open up Black Ops 2 because Black Ops 2 is literally my favorite game. Okay, cool. Let's get out of here. OBS. Okay, game capture. Specific window. Alright. Let me add another window. Hold on, let me. Because I'm gonna add the game capture. I mean, the fucking thing. Hold on. Window capture, browser capture. $19.25. custom frame rate. Control, blah blah blah. Shut down source when not visible. Add access by OBS. Refresh catch. OBS browser source. Let's see here. Destiny. Oops, YouTube. Destiny. Yo, this game needs to be turned down, bro. It's too fucking loud. Turn this fucking shit down, bro. Everything down to 50%. Fuck it, 50. We're halving everything. We're halving everything. Fuck you. Everything's being halved. All right, cool. Now it's sounding beautiful. Control C. Go up here. Control V. And let's say body, background, color, RPG page, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, buddy. Hey, what the fuck? What the fuck?
With next level intensity.
Why is it doing that? Hey, blah blah blah. Hey, yo, why is it doing it this way?
Talkies, face the intensity.
Krabby Joe's is taking things back to basics with fresh ingredients.
Yeah, okay, so I fucked up. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, damn, wrong browser. Chrome. Yeah, Chrome. Automatic capture method. Yes, match title, other with blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Now, let's minimize this. Put this in the corner. And make sure it's big enough for y'all to see it. Nah, that's way too small. I just don't want it so big that that's just what you're watching, but I want it big enough to, you know, but, big enough for y'all to see it. Okay. That should have made a difference. Cool, cool, cool. This is getting lit. We're getting lit now, boys. We're getting fucking lit. Fucking lit. So I got some fucking hot takes. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. My takes are fucking crazy hot. Okay, not crazy hot. Not all of my takes are crazy hot. Let me not play online. Fuck. Because I want to be able to pause this so I can really address shit that I feel like I need to address or whatever. But my opinions are never like I'm a nuanced person. I'm so fucking nuanced. It's so dumb. Like you'll be like, yo, I'm surprised this nigga agrees with that. And like, here's the thing. I never 100% agree with anyone on anything, right? A lot of people, for whatever reason, will believe that I believe 100% in an individual because I think the reason why people think that is because they're retarded and they think that about themselves, and like when they follow somebody, they follow them to a T, and like if they disagree with somebody, they're just gonna fucking write them off 100%. I'm not that type of person. I can look at somebody and be like, yeah, I don't agree with that, but all this other shit that you're doing, I agree with. Okay, I don't agree with this, but I do agree with the other stuff that you do, and I can take stuff from that. So like, I don't need you to be a 100% perfect person, but I think people need that for them, for their ideals, right? Like, okay, say there's a murderer, right? We could be like, yo, a murderer is a bad, or let me not say a murderer, let's say a cult leader, right? We could be like, a cult leader is a really bad person, and yeah, they're just a really bad person. But it doesn't mean there's nothing endearing about them, right? They were able to get a bunch of people to follow them in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity, right? So there is something within them being a cult leader that is of value, right? Of value to other humans, because you're not able to cultivate a group of people in such a way. And you might be able to take something and use it in a good way, in a good sense, and use it for good. I think that's really what it comes down to. Sorry, my phone's acting up. I'm trying to fix my phone now. I don't know why it froze. All right, hold on. All right, so that was just my little caveat, my little rant at the start of the video. Let me go on YouTube and fix my fucking shit. And make sure that it doesn't pop up on YouTube too.
Creating your first video? You should start with the music. Go to art.
Your channel. Let me change the title and the thumbnail. Destiny YouTuber. Okay, cool. I don't really want to do too much Photoshop right now because I'm a lazy pussy, so we're just gonna fucking steal one of these Google images of Destiny. Let's do a little thiefy thief, a little robby rob, a little steely steal. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Alright, let's grab that. Let's go to the video. Fuck, I have to go to your channel. Manage videos. Lives. Edit. Let me change the thumbnail. Where's Destiny? Where's his big head? We love you, Destiny, for sure. Alright, let me change these hashtags. Hashtag. Oh, you know what? Let me steal his hashtags. Fuck him. I know he had to abuse hashtags. There's no way he didn't. There's no, yeah, there it goes. There you go. Thank you. Destiny's one of them. Put this one in next. Ooh, fuck, my screen just glitched for like absolutely no reason. Okay, cool. So this should work. This should be good. This should be a good title. This should be a good fucking thumbnail. Oh, jeez. I didn't even change the fucking title of the video like an idiot. Is Destiny wrong? Yeah, here's a really good. Is oh, everything has to be all caps. Clickbait as much as possible. Oh, I should be hashtag. Is hashtag Destiny? Like, bro, I'm trying to get views, buddy. Yes, sir. Wrong. A B out. The A. Is it Atriocs? Okay, shift live reaction. Oh, maybe we should do hashtag live reaction. Parenthetic. What the fuck am I even saying? Shift. Oh. Loud Studio. Shout out to them. Not shout out to them. I don't even know them. Hashtag live reaction. Very cool. All right. No, it's not made for kids. Cool, 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 cool. No, don't restrict by yeah. All right. Save that. Okay, this took a fucking minute to get into this video. And you reload the page. Okay, cool. So let's get this video started.
Oh, do you think Hassan's gonna burn? Oh, do you think Hassan's gonna burn the bridge over this? You are violating the consent of someone by forcing them to do something that they don't want to do. I think this kind of ties in to the concept of like identity or the reality of your identity in terms of who you are as a person.
Yo, why is it still up?
You're essentially forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do, but almost like in an altered reality. But it's still like their identity. A lot of the AI stuff, I think that deepfakes it's part of the conversation that we're having about AI in general, like AI art, and ChatGPT, like all of these things.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Destiny, chill out. You're so fucking talkative. Jeez. Fuck, I'm just. All right. Cool. So this is right. That's right. This is right. Yo. All right. Make sure my audio input's all the way up. Fuck, I think it's been way too low for this whole time. I want to make sure I'm heard on halfway volume. Hello? Can you hear me? I'm not really talking to you guys. I'm talking to myself. Hello? Make sure that goes. Hello, hello, hello? Because what I'm doing right now is turning up the gain on my mic. Because I want to yell. Yeah, and then have it too loud for you. Okay, so boom. I think this is the perfect volume. Let's get back into...
The concept of like identity, I think, is being pushed or threatened or challenged a lot with a lot of this AI stuff. And I think deepfakes are challenging it in a very unique way that hasn't happened before.
Never done anything like that on this stream. And we don't tolerate any sex behavior in the chat. We ban it on site. And like, I've done this consistently over and over and over. Reading so much AI stuff. Deepfake music, deepfake art and everything. And I just feel so embarrassing.
I'm going to give you the objectively corrected true take on deepfakes. But I started thinking about it last night. And I was trying to think of, like, why do deepfakes feel bad?
Yo, what the fuck?
What
Hold on.
feels bad? And I went down this whole line of thought. The question is actually intensely interesting to me. And I feel like it all roots back into
For some reason, you guys can't
a concept
see
of identity
Destiny.
in a way that is way more interesting than I had initially thought. But I need somebody that I can, like, I have to...
That's so weird. I don't know why you can't see him. What is the reason though? Like, yeah, look at this. You can see his video now.
to have somebody I can bounce this idea off of. Why it felt bad, and I don't know. It went to some interesting areas. I'm not sure, but I need a
Let me go back.
objectively corrected true take on deepfakes.
The objective.
Like AI art,
okay.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
like all of these things.
Yeah.
And
This
the
is a lot
concept
harder
of,
than you guys
identity,
think.
I think, is being pushed or threatened or challenged a lot with a lot of this AI stuff. And I think deepfakes are challenging it in a very unique way that hasn't happened before.
Yeah, see, now the video is gone. I mean,
And we don't tolerate any sex behavior.
Figure
in the
these
chat.
things out.
We ban it on site. And like, I've done this consistently over and over and over. Reading so much AI stuff. Deepfake music, deepfake art and everything. And I was...
if I do it like this, might work.
I'm going to give you the objectively corrected true take on deepfakes. But I started thinking about it last night, and I was trying to think of, like, why do deepfakes feel bad? Like, what feels bad? And I went down this whole line of thought. The question is actually intensely interesting to me, and I feel like it all roots back into our concept of identity in a way that is way more interesting than I had initially thought. But I need somebody that I can, like, I have to have somebody I can bounce this idea off of. Initially, I thought it was going to be pretty simple.
Hold on. Jeez Louise. Yeah, see, it's a pretty fucking nuanced issue. And that's kind of why I want to talk about it. But so what if I click on, what if I put on force SDR? Maybe that'll help and stop changing it to black. Let's see if this makes a difference. Yeah, why is it black now? All of a sudden. All of a sudden it's just randomly black now. How do I fix this? How do these YouTubers do this shit? Maybe it's media capture window. Maybe that's why. Application audio action blah 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 blah. Display capture game image slide media. Maybe I have to put down. Shit, I'm an idiot, not media. Video capture device, window capture, display capture. I click OK. No, we don't want a display capture. We do want window capture. I think application audio capture, audio in capture, audio out capture, browser, color, display capture, game capture, image. And it's like, yeah, this is the one that we want. Well, why is it not doing what we want? That's the real question. Let's see if this works now. Get off of here. Go back to the game. We're gonna see if it turns black. Yep, I think it turned black, but see, and once I get back on it, it's not black. What the fuck? Why is it doing that? Maybe it's saying I need to have the. Maybe it's saying I need to have it open in the same instance. Like, if the screen's not open to capture it, it's not gonna capture it, I guess. Let me try to fix that. Let me try to fix that. Or maybe I don't have to fix it. Maybe we could just hear the audio and I'll pause it and we'll talk about it and then yeah, but like. Or maybe I don't have to fix it. Maybe we could just hear the audio and I'll pause it and we'll talk about it and then yeah, but like. Or maybe I don't have to fix it. Maybe we could just hear the audio and I'll pause it. But this is getting ridiculous.
But then I started trying to figure out more like why it felt bad, and I don't know. It went to some interesting areas. I'm not sure, but I need somebody to chat with. Usually, if I have like a moral question, usually my thing is what I'll start to do is I'll ask questions around the edges to try to figure out like what feels good or what doesn't feel good. But then if it feels confusing, I'll just start like writing like back and forth to myself to see like what I feel about things.
That's an interesting way to go about things.
Sorry, don't mind me.
Oh, do you think Hassan's gonna burn the bridge over this?
If you were able to look at women who are not selling them.
Destiny, are you finishing the factory today or not?
Honestly, the empathy part and the crying is the most boring part, and I'm gonna spend very little, if any, time on it today because it's the most soy, retarded, boring part to talk about. I'll say the same thing I said in the beginning. I understand why somebody would be upset. It makes sense to be upset. I just thought it was an overreaction. Apparently, that thought can't exist in your mind.
Hold on, fuck. I agree with Destiny on that point, but we're gonna have to fucking rehash all that because the window, the whole fucking Chrome bullshit. Like fuck. Let me go here. Like, I don't know how these YouTubers do it. Probably because I have a second monitor, which is why I need to get a second portable monitor because I don't want to have a full blown monitor because I like having portable setups. YOU YouTube. Not now. Destiny. There's a good chance I got like cookies, you know what I mean? Cookies that fucking stop you from being able to stream the video. There we go. Just click OK on that. Let's see what's up now. If I go away from this page, right, if I go to Call of Duty and I start playing around, will the video disappear? Let's see, guys. Let's hope not.
Sherman decided to keep the brain of his friend? I believe something similar happened to
Dude, what the fuck? It did. Maybe what do I need to do? What do I need to do to fix that? Do I minimize it? Let me try minimizing it. Let me try open it up like this. Yeah. Try minimizing it. Now opening up like this. Maybe this is what we need to do. Let's try it. Now let me run around. See if it goes black again. Alright, let me run through these zombies real quick. Yeah, so I don't know why it keeps doing that. There has to be something in the capture. Match title, otherwise find a new window. Because it should just be able to show the window regardless. I shouldn't have to... Here, I turned off all the other shit. Let me see if it makes a difference now. Let me run around, see if it goes black again. Yeah, this is starting to piss me off. Yeah, this is starting to piss me off. Oh, look, there's distro kid.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy No.
Maybe there's a way to get around it. Maybe you're supposed to do like a game capture. And then you do full picture. Capture specific window. Then you do like something like this. And you press OK. And then you do this. And then capture third-party overlays such as streams. Okay, that's interesting. So it's not coming up. So yeah, using game capture doesn't work. I thought it would work. I thought I was supposed to finesse the system. Image capture definitely not gonna work. Image capture definitely not gonna work. Video capture is definitely not gonna work because it's a still video, not a still video, but not a web link. We could do browser. First time doing this. Custom CCS body of background, custom color. Okay. But here's the real question. If we put in the Thor. This is a really frustrating thing to do. Because I'm not even trying to jam niggas' content, bro. I'm trying to rat to this shit, bro.
We don't just bleed. We bloat, cramp, hurt,
Wait,
ache.
Whoa, what did I just do?
Every single month. Why push through discomfort when there's powerful multi-symptom menstrual relief? Comfort is power. Midol.
If you have questions about where Canada's oil sands industry stands on
No.
you're
We
not
don't
alone.
need this ad
It's
inside of our
time to
lives.
clear the air. Oil sands contribute significant
bro, how do
carbon
I stop
emissions
this?
in Canada. So the 6 large...
Oh, here we go.
Hate the women, and I think all of them are stupid for caring
but
at
here's the
all.
question.
Or I think
How do I
it's just as
pause
bad
this
as
video,
and they
and
should
how do
go
I
and
hear
like be
myself?
like completely like horribly upset about it, and they should talk about it. Those are like the only two positions apparently I have. But I'll restate the position I had since the very beginning. I understand like why someone would be upset. I think it's totally fair. But like going live and saying like this is what pain looks like just seems like very, very, very dramatic to me. But I can't yeah, that's like a position I just can't have. Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the new AI voice thing that's posted on your Reddit? Yeah, that was crazy. Wait, link that again. That was very convincing. Do you think watching deepfakes is different than fantasizing about your neighbor? It is different. Deepfake porn is shitty, and it's weird seeing yourself be objectified like that. Kind of. We'll talk about it.
You could see bombings like this one going on for months.
It looks like we're starting here, so let's cut to the aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear.
Here, fuck it. Fuck it, guys. We're gonna do it the hard way. We're gonna do it the way that doesn't allow us to fucking see anything. We're gonna do it the media capture way. We're just gonna capture the audio instead, and that should. All right, boom. So let's see if this works. Audio capture beta. Play this video.
Have to have somebody I can bounce this idea off of. Initially, I thought it was going to be pretty simple, but then I started trying to figure out more, like why it felt bad. And I don't know. It went to some interesting areas. I'm not sure, but I need somebody to chat with. Usually, if I have like a moral question,
hold on.
Usually, my thing is what I'll start to do is I'll ask questions around the edges to try to figure out like what feels good or what doesn't feel good. But then if it feels confusing, I'll just start like writing like back and forth.
It's coming through somewhere else too. Actually, hold on. Let me play it a little bit more. OBS.
Objectively corrected true take on deepfakes. But I started thinking about it last night, and I was trying to think of like, why do deepfakes feel bad? Like, what feels bad? And I went down this whole line of thought. The question is actually intensely interesting to me, and I feel like it all roots back into our concept of identity in a way that is way more interesting than I had initially thought. But I need somebody that I can like, I have to have somebody I can bounce this idea off of. Initially, I thought it was going to be pretty simple, but then I started trying to figure out more like why it felt bad. And I don't know, it went to some interesting areas. I'm not sure, but I need somebody to chat with. Usually, if I have like a moral question, usually my thing is what I'll start to do is I'll ask questions around the edges to try to figure out like what feels good or what doesn't feel good. But then if it feels confusing, I'll just start like writing like back and forth to myself to see like what I feel about things.
What is going on with you?
Don't mind me.
Oh, do you think Hassan's gonna burn the bridge over this?
If you were able, look at wait. We're not selling this.
Destiny, are you finishing the factory today or not?
Honestly, the empathy part and the crying is the most boring part, and I'm gonna spend very little, if any, time on it today because it's the most soy, retarded, boring part to talk about. I'll say the same thing I said in the beginning. I understand why somebody would be upset. It makes sense to be upset. I just thought it was an overreaction.
No, I totally agree with Destiny. I completely think it's a fucking overreaction. Like, I thought it was really funny, to be honest with you. Like, I don't, like, okay, how do I put it? Like, you know it's not your body, right? So, it just seems weird to, like, cry about it the way she did. And I'll probably put like an excerpt or like whatever when I edit this video down and stuff like that so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about and exactly what Destiny means, because I cannot put the audio and the visuals in the same fucking video and play them at the same time because fuck YouTube and fuck OBS. But yeah. Kinda wanna play Minecraft instead. But let's just keep playing Call of Duty.
Apparently that thought can't exist in your mind. I either hate the women and I think all of them are stupid for caring at all, or I think it's just as bad as and they should go and like be like completely like horribly upset about it and they should talk about it. Those are like the only two positions apparently I have. But I'll restate the position I had since the very beginning. I understand like why someone would be upset. I think it's totally fair. But like going live and saying like this is what pain looks like just seems like very, very, very dramatic to me. But I can't yeah, that's like a position I just can't have. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel the exact
same. You
same
think the new
way.
AI voice thing was supposed to be a Reddit? Yeah, that was crazy. Wait, link that again. That was very convincing.
Let's see what this shit's
Do you think watching deepfakes is different than fantasizing about your neighbor? It is
It's
different.
clearly different.
Deepfake porn is shitty and it's weird seeing yourself be objectified like that. Kind of. We'll talk about it.
You can see bombings like this one going on for months.
It looks like we're starting here, so let's cut to the aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Here comes the Enola Gay. It's about overhead.
Wait, is this one of the football announcer guys? I don't know the...
Yeah, I don't really care about this portion.
Hiroshima now. Gay, and he drops the payload. Let's take another look with the Toyota Instant Replay.
Looks like it only dropped one bomb, Joe. Can't expect it to do much damage.
You really can't, Troy. But what you can expect is for America to tune in to a brand new episode of The Simpsons, followed by a new Family Guy, only on Fox. And that was a massive explosion, Troy. Let's hear from Aaron Andrews down in downtown Hiroshima. Aaron.
Yo, that's a pretty good deepfake if that was him.
Looks like we're having some technical issues with the headset. We'll be right back after these messages from our...
Wait, link mine. They're actually insane.
It was a dark and stormy night when Lisa's world would never get to...
I know that a lot of people want to catch them all, but my job is a much bigger challenge. It is my goal to masturbate to all 1,008 Pokemon, plain and simple. I usually try to do it twice a day, regardless of the difficulties. At the end, I always win. I go on places like DeviantArt, Rule 34, and occasionally a 621 in order to achieve this massive goal. And when I finally do, I will become a Pokemon master. Sometimes it is easy.
I don't know what to
I can come in 5 minutes
man.
looking at Gardevoir
I'll
or
play
the funny pornos.
super simple.
Sometimes I come across major
But it doesn't
challenges
make
that
me
I have to
think
overcome.
that I can
In the
pause
case of
easily
Garbodor and Magikarp
whenever I want
especially.
to.
This one isn't as good.
Thinking about the actual fish itself.
Talk about it.
It is very hard, but the satisfaction you get when you achieve victory
this is the
immense.
easiest map.
I'm almost permaban. I'm almost at the permaban point for this. Stop trying to meta engage with me. Don't do this. I understand what you're saying, but you have to understand how it come off. Don't try to think like this sounds bad to other people. You guys need to start learning to give your own opinions on things. We're moving off of like the meta. Like you can't do this because it looks bad. If it looks bad to you, say it looks bad to you. Or if you don't like a thing, say you don't like a thing. But you all got to stop doing this thing. Like, oh, I think this looks bad to other people. No one cares. Okay. Stop with the meta weird optic shit. Stop doing that. Say, I don't like this. Now, I don't think other people like it. I don't know what it is in my brain, but the first statement is totally fine. I don't like a thing. Cool, that's fine. But the like, I don't think other people like the thing. It like feels like a million times more pretentiously retarded.
And it's honestly way scarier than AI.
Well, I'm glad Destiny said it. I've been thinking the exact same thing as well. This is actually what I think is super funny. I'm not like conservative by any means. Well, what the fuck? Am I online?
Right? This is pretty good. I don't even know this is the one on my sub. This is a good deepfake.
And it's honestly...
This is shit? Okay, never mind. I guess the Vosh one where he was monotonous for 2 minutes was better.
And it's honestly way scarier than AI art. The quality of these...
Or actually... Whoa. Actually, you guys would probably know what I sound like better than I do, since I kind of live in my head all the time. I don't really hear it the same way, actually. Maybe. Never mind, actually. Maybe you would know better than me. I feel like when you think about getting deep-faked, somebody deep-fakes videos of you, it feels like you are, it feels bad. I think there's like an intuition there. That feels bad. It feels wrong. It feels not good. But when you try to reach for the why, like why does that feel bad? I feel like it's hard to come up with a precise answer. Because it's not actually a picture of you. It's a picture of somebody like masquerading as you.
Yeah.
Your face is on it, I guess. Initially I tried to think about like what if somebody just like drew your face on a character? Like does that feel bad? Kind of a little bit, but it's something about it that feels different. So I started jotting down questions because I try to figure can you make the best case
what I would
for,
say is I guess the severity of the situation.
For banning deepfakes legally? I don't know. I don't actually care about the legal thing. I don't care about any of that actually. I'm just curious why it makes us feel bad. That was kind of the thing that I was interested on. So I wrote down a couple questions and I try to guess like how kind of most people will feel about it. So I can see where the intuitions are to try to figure out like where like what is the bad thing about deepfakes? Like what is the part about it that isn't okay or that makes us feel like particular revulsion?
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to get at today too. What exactly makes us so revolted about deepfakes in terms of like, well, obviously the sexual nature of them and how that feels to people. Like, I can sort of understand why you'd be angry that somebody deepfaked you masturbating or whatever the fuck. But, like, on the whole, like, why do you actually give a shit? Because you know that it's not your body, right? People also know that it's not you. Oh, fuck, I think I died and I forgot to pause the game. But people know that it's not you, right? Like, it's not as if people are watching these deepfake videos and they're like, yeah, yo, this is fucking Destiny. Like, if somebody made a deepfake of Destiny, people aren't like, yeah, Destiny started doing porn or whatever. I can understand why a porn star might potentially be angry, because a porn star would be making pornography videos, right? You don't want your revenue specifically taken away. And I can understand your likeness in terms of like you being mad that your likeness is now being used. Like, oh, damn, you're using my likeness and profiting off of it. Let me sue you for money. But apart from those things, like, people know that's not you. You haven't advertised that you're doing pornography, so people know that it's not actually you. Hold on, let me play the video. The ad is finally over.
Thing that I was interested on. So I wrote down a couple questions, and I try to guess like how kind of most people will feel about it, so I can see where the intuitions are to try to figure out like where, like what is the bad thing about deepfakes? Like what is the part about it that isn't okay or that makes us feel like particular revulsion? So I jotted down a couple questions. So like, how would we feel if somebody masturbated, like thinking about us? Like if somebody jerks off and they just like think about like, oh yeah, I like this person, I jerk off. I feel like most reasonable people, like 90% is probably okay. That's probably like a 90% okay thing, right? Feels a little bit weird, but like you can't control it. As long as they don't do anything, it's whatever, right? I think somebody jerking off thinking about you is whatever, right? What if somebody masturbated to a publicly available picture of you, right? So let's say they go to your Facebook, they go to your Instagram, they see like pictures of you and they start jerking off. They start jerking off to that. I feel like it's mostly okay, but I think it's a bit weirder, right? Like I feel like it's like, that's like 70% okay. Like they're publicly available pictures. There's nothing you can do about people seeing a Facebook post, Instagram post. It's public. They jerk off to it. It's whatever. Let's say somebody finds a way to get a private picture of you, but let's say that it's not explicit, right? You don't have, there's not like you can't see like your fucking boobs or your pussy or anything crazy, right? But let's say somebody finds a private picture of you and they masturbate to that private picture that they've gotten a hold of. I feel like my intuition here is that this feels significantly less okay, or even not okay.
Why though?
Like, let's say somebody were to find access to like, let's say hypothetically, you and your volleyball team went out and you guys took pictures for like a photo album of like your volleyball stuff, and you have like an album of that in your room, and that's just like you and like 5 or 6 other friends share it. Let's say that somebody else got access to that album and they started jerking off to pictures in it. I feel like that isn't okay. I don't think that's okay. Even if the pictures aren't explicit, even if you were playing volleyball kind of in public, if they found that album, I feel like that's pretty not okay. Let's say that somebody's taking pictures of you, right? Like with a camera, somebody's taking pictures of you. Let's say that it's in a public area, and let's say that it's an appropriate picture, like it's not taking a picture of like your or anything, right? So it's an appropriate picture. But let's say that you're like sitting on a bench in a park, and you're the focus of the picture, and somebody who's taking those pictures and jerking off to that. I think that most people would be very not okay with that. If somebody's sitting in a park and they found out somebody was taking pictures, especially of them, I don't think they'd be okay with that.
See, it would be weird, actually.
I think they'd.
But
yeah,
like,
I don't think people would be okay with that.
But like, does it matter though?
And then let's say somebody's zooming
kind of my
in
question,
and finding ways
I
to
guess.
take inappropriate pictures of you, even if you were in a public place. Obviously, I think that almost 100% of people are.
If you're
not
taking
okay
inappropriate
with that.
pictures, that's not okay.
Yeah,
that's not okay. But if it's regular pictures, what's, I guess, like, what?
I don't know if these will make sense now if I'm reading this the next day, because I kind of just like type out thoughts. It seems like there are, I changed this to 3. I thought it was 2, but then I think I kind of settled on 3. It seems like there are 3 big no-no boundaries that make a reasonable person feel uncomfortable when it comes to someone else using their image or other things. So number 1 is, if you obtain pictures without consent, where there was like a reasonable expectation of exclusivity, then I think people don't like that. So for instance, if I have like a family photo album that's like for my family and it's sitting on a shelf and somebody would find a way to take those pictures and mess with you, like that album's not meant for you. Or if I've got like a private album on my Facebook or private album on my Instagram just for some friends and somebody else finds out and masturbates to it, that type of thing. So if you've got an exclusive photo where you feel like somebody shouldn't have rights to it, and they get rights to it, and they're masturbating to it, I feel like that's not okay. That's one part. Number two, pictures that are obtained where you are the focus without your consent or knowledge, even in a public area. Regardless of your reasonable expectation of privacy, even if you're in a public area where you expect people to be able to catch pictures of you, if somebody's focusing on you and you didn't consent to it, that's never okay. So that could be even like somebody has a stream and they like crop pictures of you from the background and they have like an album of that. I feel like people would say that's not okay. That seems to be a big no-no boundary. So if they obtain a picture of you where you're the focus without your knowledge or consent.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
And then the third boundary here was pictures obtained that focus on or show some explicitly vulgar action or part of the body without their consent.
Yeah, that's
obviously, I think, like
yeah,
like a no-go. If you take a picture and you find a way to capture somebody's boob or fucking whatever, right?
Yeah,
that's
a no. You gotta
obviously
delete that.
No
Get rid of
go.
that shit, bro.
So these are kind of like the three broad rules I think I drew up for what kind of pictures people are okay with, people aren't okay with, in terms of somebody having them. So then kind of like just a little test for each of these ideas. So for the first idea, let's say someone comes across an old photo album on a flash drive you had in your bedroom. None of the photos are nude or vulgar, but they still use them to masturbate. I think that would probably seem creepy, as the photos are taken where a reasonable exclusiveness of the photo existed. I don't think if you found out that somebody came across a private photo album of you, maybe you and a friend went to like a mall and took some pictures in like one of those booths or whatever, and somebody's jerking off to that, I feel like people wouldn't be okay with that.
Okay, I would think it's weird, but I would question why the fuck you're doing that.
There was like an exclusiveness
like,
to the,
why?
There was an exclusiveness.
I just wouldn't care that much. I just wouldn't care that much.
Number two, a picture of you walking in the forest, even if nothing inappropriate is happening, but by someone who otherwise has no contact with your permission to do so would probably seem creepy as well. Let's say you're just walking in the forest with a couple friends, and then you find out later that somebody takes a photograph of you, of just you, and they're jerking off to that picture. Probably doesn't feel okay. Even if you're in a public area, even if it wasn't an inappropriate folder, it just seems weird that somebody's focusing on taking a picture of you because you didn't know about it, you didn't consent to it, and you're like the focus of the image. That seems weird. And then the third one would be someone zooming in and taking pictures of your body part in any setting is always going to be somebody taking creep shots in a subway, photographs under a table. Like all of this would be
weird as fuck.
I think all of this would be not okay. I
Those would
kind
be
of
not
thought about
okay,
like what about
but-
for OnlyFans girls? And I think that these three rules. I think these three rules actually are reinforced by how even OnlyFans girls feel about pictures getting leaked or whatever of them. So I thought about each of these three rules in relationship to an OnlyFans girl. So for number one, let's say somebody is leaking pictures from your OnlyFans albums, right?
Oh yeah, that would be.
Someone could be upset with breaking rule one if it leaks because it's going to a new audience that it wasn't intended for, right? You like this is supposed to be exclusive to people that pay for it. You leak it to somebody else. I don't like that, right? That's a thing. Somebody could be upset with number two if someone takes pictures of them without their consent, such as in an airport. Every time when I used to talk to porn star people, they would say they'd most often get recognized in airports, and people would try to take just shots of them or whatever, and that felt like really violating. And I know that our thought is like, well, what do you mean? You've already got porn out there. Why would that be violating? But it's because somebody's taking a picture of you where you're the focus and you're not consenting to. You don't know about it. It's weird, right? And then number three is someone zooming in and taking a picture of parts of your body in any setting would be creepy. And same with three, especially the person only does certain types of porn. If somebody takes a picture of their body parts, they don't want photographed. So I think all three of these even work even for somebody doing pornography. I think that all three of these, meet a good test. I think they all meet the test, and it works for all of these, I think. So I try to apply this to deepfakes, and I think about what about deepfakes? It kind of seems to violate number one, is you're getting access to pictures that should be exclusive, like nudes, but that's not really what's happening because you don't really see a nude picture of a person. It doesn't really make sense, right?
Because it's not them.
It kind of violates number two, because
fake.
you're using publicly available photographs for an unintended purpose. So maybe number two, but not really. And then number three, by definition, deepfakes don't really violate number three at all because you're not actually taking nude pictures of them, you're just getting pictures of their face. So is this really satisfactory? Someone is repurposing public images of you in a way you don't like to create something you wouldn't want to see. So it seems like in terms of like when I try to think about like why don't people like pictures taken of themselves, it feels like deep fakes don't hit any of these three rules. It completely breaks this model down. This doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense using these rules. Why you'd be upset? It doesn't plug into any of these really well. So I kind of thought about going in a different route. Would you be okay with? So then I thought about this. Would you be okay with somebody looking at a picture of you while masturbating to porn? I think it's kind of weird, but I mean like it's as long as it's like a normal picture, it is what it is. I don't know if I'd say 85% okay. I think I'd bump something like it's like 65% okay, right? Somebody's jerking off to fucking some porn and they got a picture of you up. I mean like it's weird, but like it's probably okay. Somebody pasting your face over a naked body. I'll adjust this downwards too. Again, I think it's weird, but it's almost like comical in how dumb it would be. Like if somebody just like pasted a face and paint over somebody's naked body. I think I'd probably lower this even more. It's okay, but it's kind of weird. Okay. What about someone writing a fan fiction involving you? I felt like for this, I think that crosses the line. I think it's not okay. Somebody writing like a detailed fanfic talking about how like things you're doing or whatever. I don't think that would be okay. I think most people would be not okay with this.
What,
and I
fan
think it would
fiction?
be a little bit along the not okay.
See, fan fiction is weird 100%, but people do fan fiction all the time. See, all right, hold on.
I'm trying to figure.
All right.
So then I'm kind of trying to think.
Let me give my opinion
on
this.
There's no consistency here, in terms of like what's okay, what's not okay. Why? When do we go over the line?
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad that Destiny mentioned it. See, I'm sorry for the long pause. I was just thinking about what I was going to say perfectly. What Destiny just said is a perfect example of what I was thinking about. There is no consistency. So, say like Matt Damon or any of these people. There are people who make fan fictions of all these people, bro. Women, men, etc. What difference is there between a fan fiction and a AI art, whatever, fucking change in the thing? Sorry, change in the thing. What is the difference between... My bad. I got confused with the game. What's the difference between somebody putting your face on somebody else's body when they're having sex and me making a fan fiction of you, right? I'm still fantasizing about you. I'm just fantasizing you a different way. Like, this would, I guess, would be the difference between the male way of getting off and the female way of getting off, right? A fan fiction would be the female way of getting off. I'm talking about you in the most explicit way possible, and I'm telling it in a way of a story. Is that okay? Why is that okay? And then if I were to get somebody else's body, put your face on it, and then have porn up, one, people know that you didn't do that, right? It'd be the equivalent of a fan fiction, right? People know that you didn't do what's in the fan fiction. We know it's a fan fiction. Whether or not the person says it's a fan fiction or not, it's clear it's a fan fiction. You haven't admitted it. Nobody talks about it as if it is a real thing that's going on. Second of all, if we're to compare this to the AI porn or whatever, we know that it's not you. Like, it's pretty obvious it's not you. Because if you were doing this, it would be promoted on your page. Like, you would be promoting it yourself. And so, I guess the thing that it comes down to for me is, like, why is it taken so serious? Like, I can understand why you personally would be mad. But why does us, or the overall community, or people as a society need to be angry about this? And this is kind of what I want to see if Destiny breaks it down, what arguments he gets through, whatever. Because I'm curious on what exactly his thought process behind this is. I'm genuinely curious. Anyways, let's get back to fucking what Destiny's saying and see what he...
Okay, I'm about to go down a very weird train of thought. Okay, so I might change my mind on this in the future, but
I equally might change my mind on this in the future. Don't hold me. Hold me to shit that I'm saying, but not too much.
You are violating the consent of someone by forcing them to do something that they don't want to do. So then I started to think, I think this kind of ties in to the concept of like identity, or the reality of your identity in terms of who you are as a person. And I think that AI and deep fakes, I think they can threaten your identity in terms of like who you actually are. You're essentially forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do, but almost like in an altered reality. But it's still like their identity. So I thought about different ways to like test this idea. So what if you created a robot that perfectly resembles another person, and then you send that robot into the world to do sex acts? I think it would feel like a violation, even if you're not the robot. Here's the thing that I thought about that was an interesting test case. I don't think I wrote this down. Let's say that an OTV or an OTK, let's say a group sex orgy video releases of OTK or OTV, right?
Who the fuck is that?
But let's say that all of the actors in those films are like spoof actors, right? Like a Brazzers video, basically. I feel like if that gets leaked, I feel like the reaction, I could be wrong, my intuition tells me the reaction would be that it would be really funny. And I think even the people involved would laugh at it. It would be funny, like parody porn, yeah. Like people would look at it and they'd say like, oh, like this is stupid and hilarious. And look who they got to like cast as Mizkif, and like they got like an Asian woman that's 6 feet tall for a little. It would just be funny. I think people would think that it's like funny, I think. And then I thought, what if you found porn videos of like famous people, but what if you actually got their twins to would that make the people feel weird or threatened? And I feel like for that, I don't think it would be a big deal either, even though it's a literal twin. Like imagine you sent a twin of yourself into the world, you're going, would you, and then nudes got leaked of them. Even if you have the same body, does it feel bad? I don't think it would. I don't think so. Even if it's your twin, I don't think it would feel, because they're like their own person, right? So
but I guess if they're masquerading like, as you, then you know that'd be a bit of an issue.
The thought that I kind of settled on, and this isn't like 100%. Yeah, I might change my mind on this. I feel like the issue that you run into is a twin or a parody actor. When they impersonate you for a sex video, there is an identity of a thing that exists, and then they're pretending to be you. And that's okay, because you know that it's not you, right? The twin is not you. They look like you, they have your body, but it's not you. There's a person with an identity that's pretending to be you. And then with actors that are parody actors, it's also not you. It's like a person pretending to be you. But I feel like with a robot or with AI, I think it feels different because the thing that's assuming your identity doesn't have one before it does it. And I feel like people keep telling me this thing, what if it was misrepresented as you? No one cares. I'm not talking about public perception. I'm not talking about copyright. I'm not talking about law. I'm not talking about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's talking about how somebody personally feels. What the fuck are people talking about?
The other conversation is boring as to me. I don't care.
What are people
go talk
mentally
to lawyers if you want to sort that shit out. It's not interesting to me, okay?
Well, it's kind of interesting.
Why does it feel bad? I feel like the thing that feels bad is that when a robot or an AI assumes your identity, I think it's a markedly different feeling because that thing doesn't have an identity first. And
but that seems irrational.
Feels like a copy of you that's doing things, that's making you do things that you don't want to do.
But it's not really, though.
I think that was the feeling that I settled on. I'll just read the rest of my notes on
guess.
This. So you're basically forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do, just in another reality.
Lab?
Test. What if you created a robot that perfectly resembles another person, send the robot into the world to do sex acts? It would feel like a violation, even though you're not the robot. Would a twin care if one did porn and the other didn't? I don't think so, because a twin isn't a copy. It's their own person. It's a separate identity.
But why does the identity matter?
Are we more threatened by robots imitating us than by actual twins that are flesh and blood copied? I think we would be.
See, and that's weirder to me.
Deepfaked audio porn would probably feel just as bad.
I'd be like, yo, why the fuck are you acting as me, my fucking twin, you weird fuck? Why are you doing that? And then if somebody did that of me in like a robot, I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Or some shit, and it was convincingly them, I think that would have the same type of like really negative reaction. Maybe not the exact same, but I think that it would carry over a lot of the uncomfortable, like not good feeling about it. You're not going to run into the issues of like comparing bodies as much and stuff, but I think that would feel really bad too. What did I write here? Robots don't have identities, so them copying you feels much more threatening to your identity. Twins or actors that are similar don't have this feature. A twin or an actor can play at your identity, but they have an identity that exists underneath. A robot is a blank slate. They can assume your identity entirely. What if somebody made a private deep fake, but they never shared it? I still think it's bad. A copied version of yourself is still doing things that you don't want to do. I feel like that's so all of these have the underlying threat to your identity, I think.
Damn, people are really fragile then. Because, like,
what if
I guess,
OTK, OTV
like,
point leak
bro,
an actor who looks similar.
Like, you're just looking
creepy,
like me,
but
though.
I think it'd be super funny. I think most people
doesn't
would laugh
feel
at
like
it.
you're
I think
taking my
OTV and
identity
OTK
at all.
included would laugh at
But
it.
I don't know.
What if an OTK, OTV deepfake point leak where every single person was perfectly emulated by either a robot or done via CGI? I think the reaction would be a lot different, and I think people would feel much worse about it. Which is interesting then, because then even like a robo body would make you feel worse than like actual people. And then I thought of that third example. What if they were all twins? I think even the robot thing would feel worse than the twins thing, even though they're twins. I do feel that. What if someone deep faked you doing something you already did versus something you didn't do? It feels like if they did things I approved of, I don't think I'd care as much. But if it did things I wouldn't want to do, I would feel violated because it assumed my identity in a way an actor or twin couldn't, as they already have identities. Oh, this is something that I thought about. Let's say that like somebody deep fakes a porn video of me, like having like sex, like vanilla sex, right? And let's say I didn't care about people seeing me publicly having sex, right? If that leaked, it would be like kind of weird, but I don't think I would care because it's not a threat to my identity because I inherently or implicitly consent to those actions because I've already done them, right? I don't care if a deepfake thing like leaks of me, somebody in a way that I've already for, because I think it plays into my idea of identity, right? I've already done that. That's part of my identity. But if a deepfake video released where I was doing things that I wouldn't traditionally do, I wouldn't want to do, right? Say a deepfake video released of me like eating shit out of somebody's asshole or some crazy ultra fetish thing like that, I would feel bad. Because it's almost like I've been forced to do something that I don't want to do. Yeah.
When I first started Eve, I was a minor, and I was really tired of getting blown up by people all the time. So I decided, instead of being the hunted, I would become the hunter.
Oh shit, now there's an ad.
Yeah, I don't know. I ended up on all of this. I feel like the really deep intrinsic thing is I think that deep fakes or AI stuff impersonating us, because the thing underneath that's impersonating you doesn't have an identity of its own. I think that your identity is threatened a lot more when a deep fake happens. I think.
It just seems weird to me why that even matters.
That's my feeling on it. Somebody in YouTube chat said, somebody said like, this is so detached from how women think about it. Yeah, the way that people think about it on the surface is probably like, oh, like their body looks better than mine and now I feel insecure. That's boring. I don't care about that shit. That's dumb. Don't care. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was an interesting, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I feel strongly about this or not. This is just kind of like where I wound up at. The seed of objective, perspective, independent identity is not exclusively in your head, but instead something that is distributed and diffused and based on a plurality of representations, including as your instantiated minds of others. Then your identity is not sovereign. Most of the time, it's not threatened in a way that makes the person who is the origin of the identity feel uncomfortable. Like sovereignty of identity is an illusion, but a deepfake makes that uncomfortably transparent. I think so, Irk. I think a little bit.
I didn't pay attention to one thing that.
Yeah, that's. Oh, yeah, true. Because your identity is not a thing that is. Hold on, now I have to think, does identity exist to an individual at all? Or do you need one other person to even have an identity? I don't even know if you can have an identity if you exist as a sole independent person with anything else. You might actually need other people to form an identity. Like an identity of yourself might be like a person that's distinct from the people around them. I'm not sure, I haven't thought about that much. But yeah, I think it's the idea that if your identity is like it's a mirror that's like shattered and there are shards of your identity held with every other person, then I think a deep fake in a way that is unique threatens to alter that identity to other people. Well, let's think about that. Let's say that a deep fake existed of me doing crazy shit, but nobody ever saw it. Would I care? I don't think so. If there was a room full of deepfakes that nobody ever looked at, I don't think that would matter. It might have to do, maybe it does have to do with that. Basically, your sharded identity that other people perceive gets changed in a way by deepfakes that is fundamentally different. Reality is worse than examples. They're profiting from it. I don't care about that. Boring. I wonder if
dude, the profiting actually does matter though, because here's the problem.
So then
if they're profiting off of it,
what if
porn stars would be mad.
But what if people knew it was a deep fake? Shouldn't that destroy the example then?
Exactly.
If somebody knows it's a deep fake, they know it's not you doing those things. So why would that threaten your identity? So let's say somebody deep fakes me doing an act that I would never want to do, and then somebody's enjoying that, but they're like downloading from a website called thesearedeepfakes.com.
These are deepfakes.com.
What if I know that it's a deep fake, and I know that they know that it's a deep fake?
Who gives a shit, right?
Why would that matter? It's because the sexual gratification is still attached to your identity like this. No, I don't believe that's that big a deal. It's like, cause somebody masturbating over like a thought,
yeah,
of
somebody
you
can
is way different than
masturbate.
somebody masturbating over a deep fake of you.
Yeah.
I think it's different.
Because people don't treat it the same. If people treated that the same, then it would be the same. But people don't treat that as the same, so it's not the same.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Brittany thinks.
I appreciated your notes on this subject. I have also been mulling over it all freaking morning. Because obviously it's like kind of, not the word contentious, but it's like everyone's very opinionated about it, which I totally understand that idea. And I wrote down notes of my own. I'm sorry, I'm like fixing our window as well.
Okay, let me see what you gotta say,
problem.
Brit.
Make sure that it works well for your
Brittany.
Yeah,
Brittany.
you know, I'm trying to, you know.
Obliterates destiny in debate about deep fakes.
Well, it's like, what is a deep fake? Do you remember that Sarah Palin porno that came out and that woman made so much money just being Sarah Palin? That really stands out to me, and I don't think I have a problem with that necessarily, but for some reason with the deep fakes, I have like a problem with them somehow. And I think it's mostly because someone might not know it's a deep fake, but if they're on a website for deep fakes, then it's obvious it's a deep fake, so it makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like I would toss that immediately because I feel like there is a thing where if people don't know, then it's bad, but that has nothing to do with deepfakes, and that has to do with assuming something that's there that's not. So for instance, if I release like audio of two people, even if it's not a deepfake or anything, but people are just like, oh, this is audio of two people, and it doesn't even sound like them, people still wouldn't like that for the same reason. So I think for the deepfake, even if you do know it's a deepfake, I think people still have big problems with it. So I don't know if like confusing it for the real thing even matters, because people will confuse for the real thing things that aren't deepfakes, and they don't like that for obvious reasons. And then even if you know it's a deepfake, like that guy was on a website for deepfakes, and you know it's a deepfake, you know there's not hardcore porn out there of Pokey or Maya or anybody else, right? People still don't like that. They're not okay with that. Yeah.
Do you think they're not okay with it, period, or because he was friends with some of these people?
Probably because he's friends.
I think people aren't okay with it, period. People will try to obfuscate with the friend thing or whatever, which to be fair, actually on a personal level does make it weirder, but I don't think that there's any interesting to talk about there. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have a bigger problem with it because it's personal, but like the same way that like if you murder somebody that you know personally, that's like even worse, but like even murder on their own are still really bad, right? So,
yeah, I guess for me as an OnlyFans creator, I and as somebody who's been naked in public in Seattle at bike parades or nudist parades or gay parades, I categorize my nudity. And so obviously when I was at like a solstice parade in Seattle and I was naked, like people, I'd be in a circle with my friends and men would come, put their arm between our conversation and click a picture at my tits.
Damn. Yeah.
And my friends and I were like, why are you doing that at like a family event? This is, kids are here. Like this is a family nudist event.
What the
So
fuck
like
does
it's
that
weird to
even mean,
sexualize nudists in this context.
They go, what?
But some people just like cannot help it. So I think that plays into sort of how people feel
Not saying
icky
that I would do that,
about
but, like,
why
what?
people make the deepfakes in the first place. Like I am personally somebody who has never Googled a celebrity nude leak. Like, I just do not want to see anything that they did not purposely put out themselves.
Okay, cool, but that's
and
just
it feels
you though.
really
So many people do
violating to
that.
me. And
Like,
at
you know
the
how many
same
women
time,
do that?
I
You
don't
know how
want to
many
cast
niggas
moral
do that,
judgment
bro?
on a curiosity that is ingrained in our DNA. Like, humans are curious. We're animals, and we want to know things.
Fuck, man.
And so
Why
I
is it
can't fault for some
fucking with me like that?
fault
Why
someone
do
for
you-
looking at a deep fake or looking up porn of their friends or I can't really fault them for it,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I can reserve a little bit of an ick feeling that makes me concerned that we're not on the same page of how we see each other, and maybe that's how it plays into it. But I don't see, like, the Sarah Palin porn girls, like, the example my brain keeps going back to, because if she can do that, and I have no problem. If somebody mimicked me
AI
and was
should
like,
be able to do
I'm
that.
Brittany Simon, and I do porn, like, that'd be kind of funny. And I would be kind of okay with it, because it's obviously not me. But I think if there was a deep fake going around, and I guess if you're not concerned about the friend thing, we can take that out of the context. I'm not quite sure I feel weird about the deep fake, but I feel like that's not the brand I'm trying to put out here. But then no matter how hard I work, I will never be the brand I'm trying to put out there. So it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
I guess
Like,
this is why
everyone-
I am this is why I'm really fixated on the identity part, because like even if it was a twin, I feel like it because a twin theoretically has like the same body and everything. I feel like even for a twin, we would feel less bad about that than a deep fake, because a twin still is like, that's another person, it's not me or whatever. But the deep fake feels so much more insidious in how it like assumes our identity, I guess, is the feeling that I have.
There's a little bit of theft feeling coming along. I will say if my sibling did something with my image that I really didn't like, that would feel worse than a stranger. I also think it'd be worse. Like, I make content for strangers, right? Like, I make OnlyFans content for people who do not know me. And so the idea is that if somebody took that and transformed it as a stranger, I think they would just be some horny person who decided to use my image to do something different with it, and I'd probably care less.
True,
but if
but
it
I
was
think
like somebody
there's
I knew.
I think there is
Isn't that the
so
same as the AI though, isn't it?
I've written out these 3 points that I think determine like if we feel uncomfortable with people using images. So when you say that you're okay with like people who watch your OnlyFans stuff like using it in a certain way, I think that that's because you're distributing that material on OnlyFans for a particular purpose.
Here's the problem. You don't get to decide what the internet does with your body and whatever the fuck you post on the internet. That's the main issue that I think we're having here. Like, even for when it comes to me and music, YouTube videos, etc., there's fair use on YouTube, right? Even if I wanted to misconstrue what it is that you were saying on YouTube, it would be blatant misinformation, but I would be able to do it. People might think it's fucked up. People might think it's weird. But at the end of the day, I still would be able to do it. Like, nothing would be able to stop me from doing that. And so that's sort of the issue I think we're having here, is that if we're talking about it just being based upon your identity, then like, why are so many other things okay? But let's keep hearing what they're saying.
And you're okay with that. But like, let's say, I'm guessing, I don't know what your relationship with your family is like, but I'm guessing that like if you walked in and your dad had printed out like a bunch of like of your OnlyFans pictures, yeah, that would feel really weird. But
That's
but
a
if,
no-go.
Yeah, but if your dad tried to defend it, it's like, well, you put that out on OnlyFans anyway. Even if you couldn't verbalize it, the feeling I think you would have was like, well, yeah, but you're not the intended audience. That's supposed to be for my.
But
yeah,
fun
OnlyFans
fact,
subscribers,
once
and
you
that's
put it
it.
out on the
Yeah.
internet, you don't
So-
get to
Yeah.
choose who your
Like, there are
intended
definitely
audience.
videos I'm-
Like, here's the problem. When you put some shit out on the internet, you don't get to choose who your intended audience is, and you don't get to choose how they consume it and want to use it, right? So I can understand the feeling behind it. I can feel like I don't like, I don't know, Donald Trump, but guess what? Donald Trump is still a thing. If I don't like him, cool, whatever. I get to have that feeling about it, but it doesn't mean that I get to make other people have to do it and whatever. I can understand from the financial perspective as a porn star, like in the music sector, you don't want your music just being reposted. So yeah. And I guess porn, and I guess the reason why, like, in the music genre, it's a little bit harder because they're sampling, but then that's just like legitimately stealing sounds, and you can legitimately like sue for that type of stuff. But when it comes to like your face, like as a rapper, if someone put my face on a dog or a donkey or whatever, and they were to like repost it, the only time that I think I'd actually be able to take it down or do anything about it is if they were selling it. So I can understand like if people are mad that people are financially benefiting from the deep fakes, but the emotional aspect, I guess I just don't really understand. Because like for me, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, okay, cool, I put my face on the internet and you decided to put it on somebody else's body that isn't mine, who's fucking, like, okay, cool, weird, whatever. And even if people think that it's real, if you were to go back and look at my content, like if I'm famous enough for you to make AI porn of me, I highly doubt a random person is going to stumble on it and then be like, oh, this is really them. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people will do that, and maybe that is how it goes. In terms of the porn star situation, I think it's a bit different. Like, if you were to talk about a porn star and say a porn star is doing these things, right? I would say, okay, cool. Granted. How exactly is this different, right? Destiny brought up the point of, okay, well, what if you're with your dad and your dad posts you doing pornography, whatever else? That would be fucking weird. But you post it on the internet, bro. Like, you can't tell your dad not to do that. It's on the internet. What are you going to do? But, I don't know. Let's keep hearing what they're going to say.
I make just for my partner that, yes, looks similar to what I post on the internet, but see how they're intended for him? So if those leak, I would feel weird.
Exactly, yeah. So the weird thing is that, like, so this is a guess that I have. I'm almost positive I'd be correct here. But you could be doing hardcore fetish porn, where it's very hardcore, and you'd be okay with that being on the internet. But if you made like a personal video for like a loved one, and then that got leaked, it would feel bad. And I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people are looking to be like, why do you care? Like, you do fucking way more hardcore shit on your channel. It's like, but I intend for that. There's like that exclusivity exists for that photo for my fans there. This is something that's supposed to be exclusive for my partner. So this feels a whole lot different. Yeah.
Like, I do not care that my OnlyFans is always leaked because, frankly, it seems to bring in more business. But also, I don't care.
What the fuck?
Like, I'm not so weird about the money that I need every single dollar from every, like, I don't want to sue anyone who leaks my OnlyFans. I just can't care. But at the same time, if like a friend leaked my OnlyFans, I'd be like, whoa, you're trying to come for my bag. Like, it's different when a stranger does it. They don't care. They're just thinking, cute girl on the internet, let's take her nudes. So the intentionality behind it has got to matter. So I think, like, I don't know this part of the internet, like this, I don't know what side of the internet this guy is on. I don't even know his name. The one who was caught crying. Like, I don't understand the rules of his life. Like, I don't understand the rules of his culture. Like, what is his expectation as a husband, as a man? Like, why is he being so emotional about this?
Yeah,
but I know from my
their end has a lot more boring shit, but there's something interesting with it. On their end, it's all just has to do with like the fact that it's making like women feel uncomfortable, and he's maybe cheating on his wife by masturbating pictures of friends or whatever, like that shit. But the issues that he ran into, though, I think it would have been almost the exact same if he just had a large cache of like candid photos of like streamer people. It would have been the exact same thing. So even though we're all talking about deepfakes now, for the reason why his friends are mad and why people in the subreddit are mad at him, I don't think have anything to do actually with intrinsic to deepfakes. It just has to do with him masturbating pictures of like friends and coworkers. I think that's what most people are fixated on.
Yeah, I think there's a part of that that's super weirdly violating. Like, I support a lot of my sex worker friends. I don't watch their porn because once I've become friends with them, it feels a little strange. Like, I'm not the audience for this. But I do give them money and I do support their work.
What does that even
mean,
mean,
their work.
bro?
I just don't want to watch it.
Sure.
Unless it's like more, I guess, artsy than just like them coming on camera. And same, like God, one time I accidentally sent a video to my sister that was not meant for her. And like, she was like, hey sis, I think you sent me a totally wrong video. I was like, oh, me, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, it's fine. I stopped watching it the moment I saw you make a face. I was like, that's not for me. And I was like, I'm so sorry, because we have the stupid app and anyways, and I'm waiting for the day I accidentally send my parents something, like, God forbid. But it is weird. Like, I'm so not ashamed of my sex work or anything I do until I accidentally think I've violated someone else's consent by giving it to them. And then I feel like awful because like this person didn't intend to see me naked and now they have. So I feel like it's the same on the reverse, which is like, this is what I intended to do with my body. I don't like the idea of somebody stitching it onto a body that isn't even mine. Like, I think, what's her name? I'm so sorry. Oh, the Middle Eastern girl with the curly hair. Pokemon? Is that her name?
Yeah, Pokemon, yeah.
Okay. So her, like, I heard she was one of the deepfakes. Is that correct?
Yeah, she was.
And she doesn't do any nudity on the internet, right?
Nope, nothing like that at all.
So if I was her, I think if I was someone who did not want to be sexualized at all, it would feel even worse. So my concern is, like, deepfakes already are uncomfortable because all these old people are always, falling for them. And they're like, oh, did you see that this happened on the internet? I'm like, I think that might have been a deepfake. My concern is that somebody might not know it's a deepfake and then act accordingly even though. Right? So I think my concern is more like, well, what does this mean for society? But also, I think it just hurts people's feelings, which might seem basic and elementary. But I think there's something hurtful when we work so hard on our identities and who we are to have somebody misconstrue us and not see us so boldly. And at the same time, no matter how hard you work, even your closest friends and family might have a hard time seeing you.
See, but if I've worked on my identity, why do I give a fuck what anyone else thinks, bro? I should be fully set within my identity. If I am actually within my identity. If I'm not, and I'm insecure about my identity, then I guess deepfakes would actually make me feel weird. Because, yeah. if I was insecure about my identity, I guess whatever would. I guess I'm thinking about it from like a super analytical perspective. The only part that I would give a shit about is if somebody was taking my money. Like if I was losing revenue from this, I would be pissed. Like if I was a porn star and people were watching my deepfake rather than my porn, what the fuck? You piece of shit. Pay me my $10. If, you know, whatever. But like I wouldn't be mad that somebody made it of me. Because, yeah,
Here, maybe there's like a deeper knowing that could occur here. That is about more than just the deep fakes. It's about how do we feel about ourselves, like you said, the identity of ourselves. Do we need other people to confirm our identity?
True, but I don't think that
like,
any of that would influence how we would feel about the deepfake thing. I don't know if any amount of radical acceptance would change. No, because I still feel like it's somebody doing something out there with essentially you that you don't necessarily want to do. Like even if you felt like pretty radically accepting, it's the idea that like maybe there's a person that like say somebody makes like a very convincing like deepfake video of like you and Max like having sex or something, and it's like and it's like and it's like super convincing, and that it's like assumed your identity completely, and it's doing something that you would never want to do. You don't want that type of thing to exist. You wouldn't do that with yourself, but it's done anyway. I don't think any amount of like radical acceptance makes that okay.
I agree. I don't think it's okay. I think there's but if it's a stranger and they don't know me and they're doing it because they're like, oh, this would like make me money. I could just imagine someone who didn't even know who Max and I were, like creating something that they think would sell to some audience that had never even known me in context. So I can kind of understand from a business, like corrupt business perspective, how that could work for some sleazy people, but that would be their reality, like their way of surviving. But outside of that context, in order to humanize me, they'd also have to humanize like the whole industry of sex workers that I don't think people are ready to do yet. Because again, we're always curating images as content creators to push to the audience, and the audience still gets to decide who they think we are. Like I'm always being misconstrued by the internet, but it makes sense that they would do that because they only have so many versions of me to understand against the versions of girls they know in their head. So even I'll never be truly understood. So the deepfake, I think, cannot be something that internally bothers us for the rest of humanity, since this is normal. This is going to be our new normal.
See,
it has to be something that we accept as a part of the new evolution of technology. And then we can sort of create laws around those uncomfortabilities or those like senses of agency. Like I am a person, you can't say this. But how far does that go? Does that go to correcting everyone's false opinion of you? Like, yes, I don't want a bad video of me on the internet that completely misconstrues what I've done. But if it's fake, can I get around that somehow? I'm trying to challenge myself also because I do have an icky feeling in my body about it. But I'm trying to be very rational about, can I rationalize my own feelings in regards to it to allow a space where this is just a part of the new reality?
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's it? You don't know?
Well, you went off in a lot of different directions there. I feel like I feel like control over identity is an important aspect of what we have or what we do. But I feel like somebody misconstruing you based on things they've heard from other people feels bad, but it's a little bit different than like a deep fake, right? Like the difference would be like, let's say somebody's like, I think that Britney is a Nazi because of what Max said about Britney. Sorry, I keep using Mr. Girls Gamble, so it becomes my right? It says, or my subreddit, right? I think Britney is a Nazi because of what Destiny's subreddit said about Britney. Something, whatever Jew joke you made. That feels different than somebody creating a deep fake of you saying, I think that all Jews should go vacation in Auschwitz. It feels different, right?
Well, what is the difference? Is it that people don't know it's a deep fake, or they know it's a deep fake? Because if they knew it was a deep fake, I think it'd be more relieving than someone just spreading a rumor about me, because it's obviously not me. Unless they think it's me.
Yeah, then that's where the issue would be.
Then it's worse, in my opinion.
Because then they know that it's you, but...
Like, I hate that I made that joke, because now people are so stupid, they can't figure out that it's, like, not serious. But... now my body and my voice did say it, so I can't even say, well, it was a deep fake. You know what I'm saying? At least if it's a deep fake, I can be like, literally not me. This is scary. I'm gonna put the fear of God in everyone, knowing you're the next victim of the deep fake. Versus I was just a victim of my mouth the other day, like that, you know, in real life. So I think there's a safety in the deep fake because you can eventually prove it's fake, rather than, you know what I mean, misconstruing your identity based off of something you posted.
Yeah, I think they're fundamentally totally different things. So I'm having a hard time comparing them in my head. I understand that both in a way are like threatening your identity or the idea that people have of you.
What was Doc working on?
But I feel like they're fundamentally different types of things.
Like, why did you even ponder the deepfake? Because I pondered it this morning only in relation to the Friends stuff, not in relation to it existing, because I know it's going to exist. It's the internet. Like, there's deepfakes of Tom Cruise everywhere.
Exactly.
It's just a part of the new internet.
Exactly my point.
Well, I'm just curious because a lot of the AI stuff, I think that deepfakes it's part of the conversation that we're having about AI in general, like AI art, ChatGPT, like all of these things.
Yeah.
And the
It's weird that
concept of, like,
Destiny doesn't
identity,
want
I
to
think,
talk
is being
about
pushed,
finances
or threatened or challenged a lot with a lot of this AI stuff. And I think deepfakes are challenging it in a very unique way that has.
Yeah, I think it's weird that Destiny didn't want to mention finance or any of that stuff because finance has a lot to do with it, right? Like, I'd be mad if somebody's using deepfakes to make money off of me. That would upset me quite a bit. But it, but that's just me. Which one am I supposed to run over here? Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways.
Hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I will say I've heard some of your talks on the art stuff, which is not my favorite area of conversation, but I also feel very indifferent to it. But I also understand why people would feel a way about it. I feel like, when they mimic really amazing artists and then the fears, the identity of the artist and the legacy they left will be tarnished. I think that goes into our desire as humans to have a legacy, which I actually think I have less than the average person, yet I'm a YouTuber. I think I just know that people will get it wrong. So it's just a part of my fear is the law. My fear is the legality around it. What will happen to our lives if somebody does me better?
Oh shit.
That's a whole other question.
I never thought about that.
I remember there was a time where I was either banned or I was not streaming for a while and people were watching, it wasn't a deepfake version of me. There was a VTuber streamer. You know what the VTubers are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was an AI VTuber streamer.
What? So he had your face?
No, it wasn't about me at all. Nothing to do with me. It was just a VTuber that was completely chatbot generated.
It wasn't a real.
It wasn't a real person. No. Yeah, it was a VTuber, but it was running on the ChatGPT thing, and it had an AI voice. But it was responding.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was responding to chat and going back and forth and and it wasn't. None of it was real.
So is the question how we're going to prepare for the future? How do we feel about being in the present?
Those are all all of those are fundamental, or all of those are fundamentally separate questions. My only question, the only thing I wanted to initially figure out was why do people feel bad about deepfakes? Because I think we have a uniquely bad feeling about deepfakes, and I was trying to get to the root of that before. For me.
Maybe I'm just weird because I
do think we have a bad feeling about those.
Yeah. I think there's something scary about losing your place. It might feel ungrounding maybe to some people. I feel very grounded in my real life, so maybe I feel less worried about the internet life, but though my job is connected to it, so I feel away. But I wonder how people who aren't online working feel in relation to deepfakes. Do you think because right now I'm just hearing celebrities getting deepfaked. So do you think regular people are going to have a different relationship? People who are never on the internet, if they were deepfaked, I think that could shatter their brains.
Yeah, I think they would feel even worse about it because we have a little bit of exposure to it in the example you brought up earlier where we're kind of used to not having as much control over our identities. But for a normal person, it would just be, it would be an identity shattering experience because they've never felt what it's like to have other people say things and do things regarding them that they've never said or done before, being misrepresented that way,
I was told, because my partner knows more than I do about these things, and he was telling me that there's a girl who's dating Ludwig named
Cutie
Cinderella something.
Yeah,
that one. She apparently is never naked on the internet, and that's why she was so upset at the idea of deepfakes, because it's this is not the version of me that I am okay with. And I could see how that could eat away at you if that's if you're a really chaste, modest Christian person or Muslim person or whatever, and that this was happening to you. I think it would feel really scary. I have no control in my life, and I work so hard to be a good person or a modest person. And then what if my father or my brother or my mother, somebody sees this? It's
but they know it's not you though, right? Because if they saw it and you're yeah, but that wasn't me though, and AI did that, and yeah. If AI is prevalent enough to where people are doing deepfakes of regular individuals, everyone should know that deepfakes are real, and nobody should give a shit about it at all. And then I guess this sort of goes into another philosophical question. What is real and what isn't? How do you tell what is real and what isn't? And how are you going to be able to verify it? Right? Because you can go to the person, at least if it's somebody who's in your real life, and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that wasn't you who did the porn. Okay, cool, whatever. But if, like, we have somebody who's deep faking somebody and saying, I hate Jews, right? And you clip what I just said, and you were able to extrapolate a whole conversation and make it sound like I hate Jews or whatever, and you were able to put it over a deep fake and put my face on it, that would be kind of fucked. How do we know it's real? I could deny it, and I literally just said I hate Jews. Literally, I just said it right now. And me clarifying what I'm saying right now in the clarification to the point and the context of what I'm saying could easily be taken out of context, put into an AI, and then easily be used against me. So there is that question. I do understand that. But in the point of pornography, I guess I don't necessarily understand it because people know that it's not you. Like, things that you've said are a little bit harder to disprove. Things that you've done are a little bit harder to prove, if that makes any sense. So, like, it'd be easy for somebody to spread a rumor that I said, oh, you're a bitch. But it'd be hard for somebody to spread a rumor that I've done pornography. Even if you were to show the video, right? Unless you're trying to make it look like it's like one of those pornography videos that were taken by secret. In that case, I can understand how deepfakes would be fucked up because you're trying to secretly record me and make it seem like I secretly had sex when I really didn't. It should be completely understandable. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Okay, that made sense. This makes sense. What makes sense for you? Does this make sense? Yeah. Alright.
That could be horrifying. Like, I think my father would be horrified if somebody was using my face to do, like, porn, but less horrified and more disappointed when he like realizes my OnlyFans exists, right?
Sure.
Like, I think it would feel disappointing in me, but he would feel mortified for me because I think it would feel like a consent violation, but not quite rape or assault. I have a hard time equating those things a lot. So, but I've heard women say like it feels
rape or assault is wild.
Sort of like rape, and I'm like,
that's wild. Rape or assault is...
With real meat, nature's
hey, wait,
whoa.
whoa.
Dog food, now available.
Shut the fuck up with these ads, blood. Jeez Louise. Hey, yo.
That sort of, it's unconsensual. But
yeah,
rape is like
I think people.
really
Yeah,
big deal in my head.
Yeah, people use a lot of dumb terms interchangeably. Any violation of consent gets automatically compared to like, or that's just the direction people go. Yeah.
Which I don't blame them. Like, a lack of consent is really crappy. But again, it's like, well, why? I feel like the why has to matter. But yeah, I feel like ultimately, at least for me, I don't know. I don't have that much of a fear over people misusing my identity because I'm a YouTuber. That happens all the time. I'm mostly concerned that they might put me in a deep fake that would like be very, like, God forbid, like anything like really breaking the law, like with minors or something. Like, that would be pretty horrific for me, and I would never want to see it. Like,
that'd be fucked.
But I also have a personal relationship with wanting to like protect children. So I think that would be more. It's emotional, right? It doesn't feel. It's maybe not as logical, but it is personal.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'd go with
this
that.
one's a hard one.
So here's kind of a question: do you think people would have the same problem with deepfakes that are doing things that aren't that you would never do, but aren't sexual in nature?
Like doing a badass backflip or something? Because if it was cool, then we'd be like, oh, that's awesome. I wish I could be put into an anime deepfake where I was like fighting Goku. Yeah, that'd be f***ing fire. But like, that's not the same, right? Because we don't glorify sex in this culture. Like, we think OnlyFans girls are like the bane of society. So why would we want to be associated
Or
with
what if it's something
negative?
what if it's something bad that's not sexual? Like, say you like beating up a homeless person.
Whoa.
I think that could worry someone who's worried about getting fired from their job. Like, I could see that being impactful. I don't know if I would just be like, oh, that's like not fun. Like, I wish they had chosen something more fun. So I think.
Wait, if you saw a deep fake of you beating up a homeless person, that would be your thought? Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah, like, why'd you make it mean? Like, why would you do something violent? Like,
fun.
I wouldn't do that. So it's like, that's weird. It's so random. Like, it's so not even a part of my personality. But if they put me in a fight against like a YouTuber, that'd be kind of funny. Because like, oh yeah, like we always joke about like, oh, I'm gonna go fight blah blah blah. So maybe that would be funny to me. But like a homeless person's just kind of sad. Like, that's just kind of sad.
Do you think does the sex thing, I wonder what makes that unique. Do you think it's because people are deriving like a visceral type of pleasure from it that makes it feel a little bit worse, or?
The consequences are far worse than most things. I think women and men both, if they were put in that situation, like, if anyone believed it for a second, if anyone wanted to judge them for a second.
I want to remove that because I don't know if that matters. Like, let's say there were no consequences whatsoever. Like, let's say we lived in a totally open porn society, whatever, like nobody gives a fuck, right? I think people would still be pretty bothered by deepfakes, no? Do you think so, or do you not think so?
I'm trying to think of why they would, if that was the case. If we're living in a really chill society, nobody cared, wouldn't it just be like another day on the internet? Wouldn't it be like a meme? Like, oh, I got turned into a deepfake today. Oh, I got turned into a meme today.
You would think,
like
but
when
it's
I'm
not.
turned into memes. I think it's
I think we
cute,
go
and
back
then
to the other
people are
thing.
being-
Let's say we're in a thing where like 90% of people do porn, but personal porn of them is leaked. That still feels bad, right?
Yeah, that does feel bad because the intention was different. But the intention is different because it's like the why. So if they did a deep fake of me, but I didn't want to do it, but then I didn't do it. So if they just took my face, then it's not breaking an intention. It's creating a new intention, which is a false intention, which could still feel bad, but I think less so to someone like me because I'm used to it, again, as a YouTuber.
How do you feel about somebody writing detailed fanfics about you?
Ooh, great question. Sort of uncomfortable, sort of indifferent. So I've had some people reach out to me and say, Brittany, I wrote this thing about you. Would you like to read it? And I say, oh, no, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't want to know what you guys are thinking about me. I don't want to know what my OnlyFans viewers are thinking about me. I get no pleasure from knowing people think I'm pretty or hot or sexy or any of it. Like, it doesn't do anything for my brain. But if you tell me, oh, I really liked the way you put in some effort for this shoot, I might take that compliment better. But I don't derive any pleasure for some reason from someone like valuing my aesthetic, like my looks. Like I just don't know why, but it just doesn't seem very important.
Kind of weird.
I'm not I don't think I'm much like common girls. Maybe? I feel like the internet is a war zone and you have to make your peace in it, but you also have to pick and choose your battles. And this feels like a weird battle to die on, like a hill to die on. Do you remember that? Go ahead.
There's something you have to be careful here, because have you ever heard the counter argument that someone will say, well, for abortion, like making abortion illegal is stupid because like everybody's gonna get one anyway, right?
Yeah.
Technically, that's a really shit argument because what if we felt like, for instance, like child sexual abuse? That's really hard to catch because it happens in the household. Like, should we just like make it legal since people are gonna like abuse their kids anyway? Probably not. Right? We never should. Yeah. So I think that argument should be completely ejected. Because we could conceive of a thing becoming both normal and impossible to catch that we still probably would want banned, right?
True.
Yeah, maybe I'm having a problem with just like deep fake because again, my brain quite doesn't see a difference. And I've only seen PG deep fakes, so I've never seen porn deep fakes for the record. Because again, I'm uncomfortable like looking at people that didn't, like their image didn't, you know what I mean? It makes me feel weird. So I've never looked at it, so maybe it's a different experience I don't have the tool for. But if I just think of deep fakes, all I hear is meme. Like I hear like people take my face and they put it on a Nazi thing and they put me in a Nazi uniform, which they've done. And that doesn't represent me at all. But to them, it represents the joke that Britney's a Nazi or the reference that Britney's a Nazi, which I hate. But I also like, I can't do anything about it. And it's just the internet. Like, it's like, well, okay. Like that's how they view me, and so there's a version of me in everyone's head that's incorrect. So maybe it's my problem is like deep fake is too general, but what I like when you go specific and you say like, what about sexual deep fakes? Like the context is different than me being like photoshopped into a Tony Hawk music video and all of a sudden I'm doing like kick flips. Like that's badass. One of them's cool. One of them's a goal. The other one is not a goal so much.
Is there anything athletic that you can kind of do?
I mean, I grew up skating. Kara Beth Burnside, pro skater, taught me how to drop in on a half pipe. So
okay, so you can kind
of. I'm not very good at it. But
okay, so you can kind of skate, right?
Yeah.
What if somebody deep faked you doing some activity like that, but it was markedly worse than how you could actually perform in real life? So, for instance, we went to that skating rink. What if I deep faked you skating next to me, falling over and over and over and over again the entire time?
Is it funny?
Would you like it?
If it's funny, I would like it. If it's mean, I would be like, oh, that's weird.
It's not like I'm trying to make this as neutral as possible.
Yeah.
It's just like because like if it's mean, if we're like saying like fuck Brittany the loser, then obviously. But I'm trying to figure out if the thing that I'm trying to test at is like when you say that everybody has hopefully, if you're a mentally well-adjusted person, we tend to have positive views of ourselves internally. We want to see ourselves doing cool things. So when you say like, if somebody photoshopped me or somebody deepfaked me doing like a half pipe or doing some crazy shit with like Tony Hawk Pro Skater or some awesome shit like that, that would be cool. And I wonder if that's because that's congruent with you in your mind having like an idealized identity of yourself, idealized version of yourself.
Yeah.
But what if somebody deepfaked you doing something that you knew you could do but did it worse? So it's like contradicting something you know you can do. Does that feel bad? Is it just because it's like a mean-spirited thing? Or is there a unique feeling of revulsion there because they've taken something that you know you're capable of doing and they've somehow like removed that from you? I don't know.
Yeah, I think speaking for myself, I'm pretty good with failure and fucking up. So I think I would probably find it more funny and interesting, but I also would want the intention to be clear. So again, like I have no problem with people making fun of me or me falling. Like I fall and I post my fails all the time because I'm just like, yeah, it's a part of the growing process. So Brittany, wouldn't have so much of an issue with it if the intention was more like just like for fun or something. If the intention was like, if somebody posted you like fucking up on like, what's that game you like, League, 100 times, if it's not mean-spirited, it's just kind of funny, but also it would irk you maybe, and so it's like even funnier. But for me, I think it would just be like, oh, okay, I don't know why you made that, but that's pretty funny, I guess. Like I don't know, I know when people are trying to be insulting, but sometimes they even like make it funny, so it's like even better. I don't know, I think I try to see humor in all of it, which is why I'm trying to see the humor in the deepfakes. But I'm also concerned with how and why the deepfakes are being utilized. Like I would actually be more upset on the premise of like the bag. Like
yeah,
you're stopping
I understand
these people
there.
from getting the bag, right?
I think I'm trying to get away from the intention part because I think that part has nothing to do with the deep fake. So for instance, if I deep faked you failing at skating and I wanted to be really mean about it, you would feel bad about that. But also if I was just like talking to my stream, I was like, oh yeah, like I went skating with Brittany, she was fucking horrible. Like even after like 10 minutes, like Melina was out skating her, like it was embarrassing. I think you would have the exact same bad feeling about it because I don't think that has to do anything with like the deep fake. That's just somebody's trying to like be mean about you and like put out a mean message of you. I think it's
well,
like,
then what's the moral issue with the deepfake in it? I just can't think there would be an issue with a deepfake existing if we're okay with people spreading false rumors about people's reputation constantly on the internet. Like it doesn't seem to be a problem. We do it all the time.
yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm not sure. It's all very confusing because it's a new thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I don't know the answer. It's not like I'm not trying to like quiz you to get the right one. I truly don't know. Yeah.
No. And I like that you're bouncing ideas off me. How do you feel? It reminds me of that Andrew Tate audio that everyone said was a deep fake. It does concern me slightly that there could be a deep fake that sounds that good. That could be a deep fake that pushes people's, because people were very sure it wasn't a deep fake, which sure, I feel very confident in saying probably not. Just sounds like sexy talk and he probably did this for work because he's a sex worker. It's fine. But at the same time, what if the deepfakes do get that good and then we don't know? And so we have to literally wait until every video, every audio is scanned. I see more of a legal issue with this than a moral one. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to curate art with someone else's image. Like often my fans or my viewers are so sweet. They'll be like, Brittany, can I draw a picture of you? And I'm like, yeah, why are you asking? And they're like, oh, well, what if I put you in a situation you don't want to be in? I was like, oh, so what's that girl's name? Shaylin?
Yeah.
Is that her name? She did that amazing picture of all of us, which I thought was dope. Like it was so good. Like as all of us as dogs or whatever. And you're like, oh, you know, I was like, this is kind of hot. And I know Melina was not very happy with it. And I think she told me, like, this is not okay. But for me, I didn't see a problem with it because I thought it was funny. But I can understand how some people might be upset about it. Like, oh, this is unethical. But in my head, how could it be unethical? She's just sharing, like, she's taking our images, but it's kind of cool. Like, so I kind of, maybe that's my problem is like, well, if it's cool, it's okay. It's okay.
It's kind of like the, like, racist or sexist jokes are fine. As long as they're funny enough. Funny enough. The more racist and sexist, the more funny it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about, again, I think I'm also considering intentionality. I think Shaylin's obviously like either joking or she doesn't take it very seriously. Like you can't make a picture like that and be taken seriously. Like in what world? What culture? Like what world?
Well,
right?
She only has to be taken seriously by her boss, so.
Oh, well, that's true. So there's like this thing where I guess for me, I can see a lot of humor in a lot of the situations. But I don't know. I've never been deep faked as far as I know. And again, I only have the feelings around the violation that I have when people put me in situations I don't like. But if it's not a situation I don't like, it's probably fine. But P.S., I've never slept with anyone on OnlyFans. I never will. That's not a goal of mine. Or at least I think I never will. So if somebody videotaped me having sex, or I'm sorry, you know, deep faked me having sex with someone, I think that would feel violating because like that person doesn't have a relationship with me. That's weird. But it wouldn't feel rapey. It would just feel like really icky.
Sure.
So I think like icky is probably a better word than the way this like blonde girl, Cinderella, whatever her name is, was reacting on camera.
Yeah,
I just don't get why everyone's crying. Why is everyone crying? Like, why is everyone freaking out?
That's a whole other thing that has nothing to do with deepfakes. I think that just has to do with a whole bunch of like really deep like sexual insecurity. But that's like another. Yeah, that's why I'm not interested in like that conversation.
That story. Yeah. Right,
it has to do with like feeling violated by a friend, feeling because it's a friend that was weird. It has to do with like the insecurities people have about their bodies. Like it's a whole other.
But
thing.
I don't think anyone really cares about the deepfakes because if only they only care when they feel icky, then they don't care about the actual functionality of a deepfake existing. They feel about the context in which they're experiencing the deepfake.
That's what I said earlier.
Fuck, man.
Even though
this
it's
is fucking annoying. I hate these fucking puzzles.
Kind of,
You think about fucking Spider-Man to play fucking puzzles? Jeez.
Somebody actually cares about the concept or the philosophy.
Fucking Sony, man.
Because
fuck.
It was a friend that was jerking off to like pictures that make somebody feel bad. Basically, I think is what it came down to. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but the good way this technology is being used, wasn't Bruce Willis recently deepfaked in a movie or a commercial because he has that illness where he can't talk anymore?
I don't know.
It's fucking frustrating, dog. It's getting me angry. Don't know why it's so hard to do this.
And I thought that was really cool if I remember the story correctly, where I was like, oh, see, there's like good things for deepfakes to come in to help people still sell their image. Or I think, wasn't there a movie star or something who sold his rights for his image into the future even after he dies?
I have no idea.
And then they can fund their family. So there's something positive about the way you can build, you know,
people are saying, hold on real quick, people are saying Val Kilmer. But I don't think they deepfaked his voice for Top Gun. I'm pretty sure that was him talking. It was really difficult. I don't know why people keep saying Val Kilmer unless they actually.
Val Kilmer had throat cancer.
Yes, he's very, very, very difficult to talk. But I'm cool. But wait, actually, in Top Gun, I don't even think he did speak. Didn't he type on the thing?
Oh, that looks right.
All right, so that's it.
And he said like 2 words at the end, I think. I need to check. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Achievement unlocked a bit of.
Wait, hold on. Did you guys even see this movie?
Okay, cool.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he spoke like 2. I did. Fuck you guys in the chat. What are you talking about? Yeah, I think he says like 2 words at the end. Like good luck. I don't remember what he says at the end.
Map offline. Yeah, cool. I don't really care about that. See this.
Yeah, something like
99%. Why is it still only 99? What's that other 1%?
Was this was that AI or whatever generated? I don't know. Okay, sorry. Okay, go.
Yeah, so I think ultimately, like, just in a brainstorming way, I feel like right now I'm only seeing people upset with the context of in which the deepfake is being used. But I think I could imagine it being like a great business one day. Well, it is a business, right? Can you go on Instagram and put your face on videos like you're hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, or like you're hanging out with a friend, and then you send it? Like, I've sent this thing to my parents before, like, oh, look, it's me on a body that isn't mine, and we all think it's funny and cool as long as it's in the context in which we're comfortable.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't have any strong thoughts to contradict you there. I don't really have anything to add.
Yeah. It is interesting, though, I suppose. There's a lot of feelings that are going into, I guess, just the context, but not the actual. Yeah, I don't think the technology is that big of a deal. I mean, it has consequences, right?
Well, wait, what do you mean the technology is not that big of a deal?
I mean, it's cool, but it's a part of us being humans and, like, building on what we know, and we're curious, so we're going to create technology that could or not end civilization, which is just a part of our it's a part of humaning, right? It's just like very natural. So I think we're going to do that, and then we'll see how it goes. But I don't think there's a moral issue with creating the technology, just moral consequences based off how you use it, which is like anything in life, right?
Yeah, that's going to be true of every single technology, right? Like a gun doesn't kill people, people kill people with guns, right?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Which is, I guess, the problem, right? It's so funny now that I'm moving to Europe where, like, there are no guns. Like, I can't even process that information very well. Or I'm like, what do you mean you don't have a gun? And they're like, no, there's no guns. I'm like, why? Like, it's so funny versus here.
I'm like, why?
So again, it's like, it's really the thing, like how we use the thing. I'm okay with that, I guess. I really wanted to talk to you about the friendship part of it because that was more interesting to me, but that's okay if that's not where you're at. That didn't.
No, we can talk about it. That's just, I think that's a markedly different thing than the deepfake part. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing that, yeah, we can talk about. Yeah, what about it?
Well, I guess, like, for me, I was thinking about my male friends, and you remember how you told me, like, every one of your male friends would have sex with you if you offered it to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now she's thinking about that.
Yeah, like 95%, yeah.
Okay, I think like that idea is very interesting to me, and sometimes I don't want to know the answer.
Okay.
But I think it's because I don't mind having sex with my friends prior to me being monogamous. Because like if I'm attracted to you and you're attracted to me, sure, let's have casual sex. We like each other. Let's watch anime after.
But
and
now
go
these
home.
people are your friends that you want to
But
confide
I
in.
usually only do it with friends that I'm mutually attracted to, and we agree on why we're having sex. So that way there's no like confusion.
Oh,
And
fuck! I'm pressing
really
B and Y. You fucking stupid fucking Spider-Man. Jeez,
with the
I'm
deep
mashing
fake
that
stuff,
button,
though, If
blood.
I found out my friend was like deep faking
Look,
me
look,
onto
I'm mashing
live
it,
so they
I'm
could
mashing it, I'm
masturbate
mashing
to
that
it
button.
because they knew I
It's
wasn't,
not
I wasn't
working.
into them. I think that would feel violating in a way that I can't even explain. I had a male friend once. I was really offended over this. I had a male friend once break up with my friend, and we're all friends. And he calls me and goes, we broke up, blah blah blah. And we've never had a sexual relationship.
Fam.
6
Okay.
years of friend, we never had sexual, and we always talked about it. I'm not into him, blah blah blah. So one day he
Fam,
calls
my
me and he's like,
is my
"Hey,
character blessed, fam?
I really
Is
do
my
want to have
controller
sex." And I
broken
was
or
like,
something?
"Oh, yeah, that's like off the table, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but like I'm lonely, and I figured like you're slutty, so you wouldn't care." And I'm like, "Okay, well, first of all,
Okay.
I'm like the prudish girl in this group. I've had sex with less people than all of you. And second of all, like, no, I've already told you I don't want to do this. And he's like, yeah, but I'm sad. And I'm like,
Yeah, but I'm sad.
and like I didn't know how to explain to him, like, don't you understand like what you're doing right now? You're destroying this whole friendship because you're sad. Go hire a sex worker. Why would you come to your friend and be
But
like,
he
have
said,
sex
'cause
with
I'm
me
sad.
because I'm sad?
Mhm.
That's just, I don't understand that, right?
Well, I
and then
guess-
if he
I
went
don't know, nigga,
and made a
maybe-
deep fake of me, like wouldn't that be layers of
Damn.
consent violating to your friend that you say you care about? And that's what's hurtful.
Here's
It's
a
not that
question.
you-
What if they
Yeah.
did
never
it, but they
thought
just
about
jerked
that.
off to your? We'll scale it back and see when it bothers you. Let's say they jerked off to your OnlyFans stuff. Would that still feel like a bad thing?
Yeah, I think I'd feel uncomfortable if we didn't have a sexual relationship and they were my friend. Like, I
But-
see you platonically.
but
This is you
random
getting
people,
around
though.
my consent when I've already said no to you for sex. And that feels weird.
What if they were jerking off to just like public pictures on like your Instagram or something? Would that feel bad?
Well, yeah, because
I
it
still
still
think
didn't
it's
give
weird, yeah.
consent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what if they jerked off just like thinking about fucking you?
Well, yeah.
And let's say you knew it somehow.
It's still
right? Then
weird,
You think that
but-
would still be
I
bad?
still think it's weird, but bad is less of the word I would use. I think it would be weird for our friendship. Like, why would you even put me on the table as a fantasy possibility? And maybe I'm a woman, so it's different. Like, I'm fully okay with accepting that men might have a very different experience with fantasy than women. But for me, like, I even now that I'm like in a relationship, everyone I used to masturbate to is like gone. Like, I don't even think about them anymore. I just think about him. Or hentai, because that's like what I like to
Fucking
watch.
hentai.
So again,
Fucking
maybe I'm a little, maybe it's like I can't tell if it's a woman brain or not, but unless the intentionality is there, I don't like the idea of hiding it. Like if I ask my friend, hey, do you masturbate to me? I want them to be honest with me, and at the same time, I refrain from asking questions I don't want answers to.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Because I want them to feel comfortable. Like I would never ask my friends that I'm genuinely neutral to them
There we
thinking
go.
about me that way.
Now it's
Like I'm
actually
neutral to
working.
all my friends thinking about me sexually, unless I've explicitly asked them, and they've asked me, "Do you want to
Yeah,
have
now
sex?"
my
And I'm
gloves
like,
are working.
Nope, I don't
know
see
what-
you that way. Then it feels strange. But if they never had that conversation with me and they were just thinking about me, like I feel like that's pretty neutral. Like there's nothing really harmful there. There's no like, because don't they have in the back of their head as they're masturbating after I've told them no? Don't they have my no in mind or
Definitely
no?
not.
Probably not.
Definitely
Okay, so
not.
that's okay then. And that's the loophole to understanding like how different brains
Most
work.
definitely
Because
not.
my brain doesn't work that way. My brain would only consistently hear the no. It
Nope.
wouldn't hear anything else. And
Nope,
I feel really
niggas
bad.
are definitely not hearing no
So I
fucking
guess,
no.
Yeah, I think for me the line is considering my friend, being thoughtful about my friend, and being able to be honest with my friend. Since I'm a big transparent person, I want to be able to honestly answer my friends and have like a good relationship with them over my animal desire to masturbate. I think.
Weird.
Why? What about you?
Okay, it's not weird, but like
Is that,
weird.
As a guy, like help me understand your brain in case it thinks differently than mine.
Destiny's also a weird
For
guy
which
though.
part? Wait, do you want my
Like-
answer or do you want the guy answer?
Because see,
Ooh.
Destiny's different.
Do
He
you think
different.
it's radically different?
Yeah.
For in some cases, probably.
Can you give me the differences so we
He
can
different.
just
That boy
explore?
built different.
Ask
He
me
him.
a particular question. 'cause,
Destiny's
Well,
him.
you asked me,
Oh!
like, if now I don't know how to ask it to you because you're not really like, I guess like if you were on the internet and like your friend was masturbating to you, I suppose same question back to you, like, do you care if it's your Instagram
I would never
photos?
care.
Do you care
Yeah,
if
no.
You wouldn't care, period.
No, but I think that's a normal guy answer. I don't think most guys would care at all.
Even if the girl, well, even if you,
even
like,
if it was a
you
girl
were,
you
like,
were fucking repulsed by, you
Yep,
get
I
the
wouldn't
fuck
give a
away from me. You
solitary
disgusting,
fuck.
crawling on the ground gremlin. If somebody was like, that girl, she probably masturbates to you, I think the guy'd be like, yeah, I bet she does. I think that would be like, I think that would be the standard guy answer. I think he would be
Okay,
flattered,
that's fair.
even if she was a 1, a 0, missing a leg, an eye. It would be like, hey, yeah, I bet she does. I think that would be the standard
Yeah,
guy answer.
niggas don't give a fuck
Interesting.
at all.
I wonder if there is a clear
At
difference,
all.
'cause I wonder if my female friends.
That's what
like,
you.
I think it's the same.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Destiny said it right there, bro. Niggas don't give a fuck at all. And I guess maybe that's why I don't give a fuck about AI porn, right? If somebody made an AI porn of me and they were masturbating to it, I wouldn't give a solitary fuck. Why do I give a shit, bro? First of all, I know it's not me, so why do I care? Everyone else generally knows it's not me. They probably don't care. Even if they do see it, they can ask me, and they'll know it's not me because, yeah. Unless they're trying to pass it off as leaked footage, which is different, right? You're passing it off as a leaked sex tape, which is a bit different than just AI pornography, right? If you were to make it look like a full professional pornography video, and you're putting on like Lena Rhodes, and I said Lena Rhodes, I'm a guy. I don't know any porn star names, and I don't know a lot of female porn star names either. I just know the ones I watch podcasts for. So I don't know. List your favorite porn star, guy, girl, whatever there, and insert face there. Like, it wouldn't really make a difference for me because it's not my body. I know it's not me. Like, it just doesn't affect me. Is this the same neighborhood that I just...
Oh, come on, fellas. You can't keep ducking income tax like this.
like I thought we understood how we saw each other, but maybe it's different. I don't know. I've never had someone
I think
admit.
there's going to
Yeah.
be our engagement with sex is fundamentally different on a couple different levels.
Ooh,
and
fuck.
one is going to be that for men, sex is a very validating experience. Whereas for women, oftentimes it's not.
It's
it
not,
can be,
yeah.
but it's pretty
Oof.
rare that that happens. So for a guy, really, anybody that wants to fuck you is in some way like validating your value as a male.
I don't know why
As
it's
a
not
woman,
for women,
yeah.
though, too,
But
though.
for a woman, like, it's easy for you to fuck at any point in time. So who the fuck cares if somebody wants to fuck you? You don't get anything from that. It's not like doing anything.
Yeah.
For it, you know? So
Oh.
I think
Yeah, that's probably
Understand.
true.
yeah, I think that big difference in how we engage with sex is probably
But
going to
then-
play out in our attitudes towards other people masturbating towards us, I think, or masturbating thinking about us.
Why does it make
Yeah,
you care?
yeah. I try really hard to. That's why I think I switched to hentai a long time ago, just because I started getting like weirded out that like these were people, and I'm like, I wonder like how many kids they have or like what they're doing with their lives.
What
And I was
the
like, oh, I gotta
fuck?
stop watching porn. So I switched to
Weird.
hentai basically all the time now.
I thought about that, like,
or
once
just
or
my
twice, but,
imagination,
like, I didn't
because
give a
I
fuck,
started to
really.
think too much about what I was watching,
Mhm.
versus I actually prefer not knowing anything
Don't
about the
think
sex
about
worker,
it
so I
too
can
much,
objectify
too
them and put
much,
them into
too
my
much,
fantasy. So I'm not
too
actually fucking them. I'm
much.
not fucking Lena the Plug. I'm fucking this image of this woman that I think is beautiful. But the problem is like I do that so I can humanize her in a different way. Because if I humanized her too much, I think I'd have a hard time not seeing her work as just work. And then I'd be like, well, why am I masturbating to my person's work? Or my friend's work? Like, it just feels like it loses it, sort of. Maybe that's why guys convince themselves they're dating OnlyFans girls or cam models. So they can still enjoy the idea that it's not just work.
No, not at all.
Do you think that's a part of it? Because like when I
Not
think
at
about
all.
it just being a job, it like loses its spark.
Well, maybe actually, I don't know. I've
think
never
about-
really paid
Like
attention
sex
to things like that, but not at all. I wouldn't think.
I didn't understand where you started this thought at. Why guys, when they're dating OnlyFans girls, that's already like a super narrow subset that I think already removes them from like a lot of the standard like thoughts that men have. Because a lot of men wouldn't date anybody working in porn or sex, right? Because they have. Yeah.
I mean, when they're
Oh.
watching a porn or
Okay.
an OnlyFans girl, and they
Yes.
convince themselves like,
Oh, fucking advertisements.
fantasy is more. This girl's more really. Maybe she's even dating me. Maybe she's sending me things that feel like a girlfriend experience. Maybe like, do
Oh.
you think men need that girlfriend experience so they don't feel like it's just a job? Because when I think of it as a job, it's less sexy.
For some, maybe, but on the whole, probably.
Yeah, that my brain diverges hard there. I have a really hard time paying for. The only time I can think about paying for sex is when I'm thinking about paying for sex as a kink. Like, paying for sex is one of the biggest turnoffs in the world to me. But if I'm thinking specifically about, like, I have power over you because I'm paying for you to force you to do that, that's hot, but not unlike a normal thing. So I don't know where a normal guy's brain is on that. I think, it could be wrong, but I think guys might tell a lie to themselves when they're paying for sex. That
Yeah.
even though I'm paying for it, I think she might be here because she really enjoys it. But I don't even know if that's true. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think it's true, but
know.
maybe it is.
Yeah, I think that happens in a lot of industries where people become like your friend. I was watching like Selling Sunset, and their clients literally are like their friends, but you're not friends. You're just business associates that become friends because they'll give you more business later, but then they do show up to your wedding somehow. So it's weird how work and friends overlap, and it happens in sex work. It happens with everybody. But I guess like relating it back to the deep fake once again, I feel like the technology is separate from the experience we're having with it. So on its own, it's fine, but how we're utilizing it, of course, will be the bad or good, depending on how people face it, I suppose.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So do you think that, like, if you found out Dan was like downloading all Melina's Fansly's, because Fansly's OnlyFans, and he was masturbating to it, how would you feel about that?
Let's see. I wouldn't care. That's easy, because I don't give a.
Really?
Well, because my wife can other people. Why do I care if other people are masturbating to it?
Yeah, exactly.
What if she doesn't want Dan to see her that way?
Then that's her problem. I don't give a. That's for her to figure out.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I mean, if he was like teasing her with it, I would obviously have an opinion about it. If he's like being aggressive about it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how I'm trying to mind my deep masculine intuition for how most guys would feel. Because on one end, I want to say like a guy would feel bad if a friend was jerking off to his wife or girlfriend, but I actually don't know if that would be the case. I wonder if a guy would be flattered. Yeah.
Would they let that?
A little bit of both, probably. I would think it's a little bit of both. Like, damn, my girl's hot enough
alone,
to jerk off to.
But if they, because like if a guy was telling another guy, who's like, God, your wife is so fucking hot, I jerk off to her. I think the guy'd be like, that's kind of weird, but yeah, she is really hot. Maybe that would be like a normal guy response. But that guy's not gonna be like, you should go hang out with my wife alone, and I'm gonna walk out of the room. I don't think he would do that.
See, that's where the violation comes in, right? It's like, well, now I don't know if I can trust you.
But now it's because you're gonna try to fuck my wife because you tried to. You mentioned it though.
A lot of couples I know have opposite sex friends, or of course they trust their friends to go hang out because they don't see them as sexual. Like I used to hang out with my brother-in-law all the time, and like we'd go out and get burgers and blast up rap and just like go down we would have so much fun together. But it was safe because we were in no way sexual. Like we were in no way more than like siblings.
Oh whoa! What the fuck is that? A rat? Yo, that rat's huge. It's the size of a nigga's
there were
foot.
people who questioned me. People were like, "Hey, why are you hanging out with your brother-in-law?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I've known him since he was like 15. We've known each other our whole lives."
Pussy, I'll fuck you up.
Okay. Sorry.
What?
Let me see that rat.
Since you were 15 is way into the fucking age. That's a way different. But it was just funny you said that. Sorry, God. Like if somebody said like I had a step sibling and like we were raised since like birth, or like they adopted them at like 1 or 2, that's like a oof. But if somebody gets adopted at 15, that's a pretty late age to be adopted into the family. Yeah.
You think?
Absolutely.
15. That's mad late.
Male brain.
I'm very family oriented, so like once he
you might be, but if you were a 15-year-old male boy, and then your family adopted a reasonably attractive like 15-year-old girl, I think you'd have hella sexual feelings about that person.
I'm trying to fuck for sure. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck.
I think it's possible for sure. For sure, I'm not discounting it as a possibility, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it either because they're not related and they just met each other.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the
well, okay, let me not say I'm trying to fuck.
The dynamic,
it depends, but
the
like,
threat to the relationships of can I trust you to not hit on my brother-in-law? Can I trust you, or my husband? Can I trust you not to cross boundaries, right? Like if you, like for some reason, were ever like, especially now that I'm engaged and stuff, if you ever, for some reason, were like, hey, Brittany, so like, do you want to have sex? I'd be like, bro, I'm in a monogamous relationship. So inappropriate. Like, I feel like on principle, I'd have to end our friendship. Like on principle. But like,
I almost hit enter on that. No, I'm just gonna go.
No, I know. But like on principle, for my own marriage, like that's not what the message I want to send to my friends because I'm monogamous now. Blah, blah, blah. So like I'm trying to send a very clear message. And if the person has crossed that line once, they're like, you know that like the ability to do it over and over again is there too. And then it sucks because every time I travel for collabs, the question in the back of my partner's head will be. You know, and like being cheated on is a real fear for all of us, and so I think we're all really worried about it.
Although that introduces a whole bunch of other dumb things that I think is kind of
weird. Yeah, I know.
Like what? Because never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go.
No, never
share
mind.
Your intrusive thoughts.
He's gonna say, "Why are you worried about cheating and whatnot?"
Probably. No, never mind.
I'm just saying, trust is the foundation of all of these conversations.
True, but it sounds like your partner doesn't trust you there if that comes up. There are a lot of I'm not gonna name names. There are a lot of women that I can't hang out with anymore. By the way, if a person is, you can speak to this personally. If a person doesn't have a sexual relationship with me, I'm not creepy. I've never done anything weird or ever made any of it. I don't ever do any of that. People seem to think that I'm this like uncontrollable machine, and if I'm near a girl, I'm gonna grab her boobs to do. But I'm not. I'm absolutely not like that. I'm very, very, very respectful. But there are a lot of women that I can't hang out with anymore since they've gotten boyfriends, and that's kind of weird to me. Yeah, but it's because in their mind they think like I can't trust her with him because they're gonna 100%. And I was like, I feel like that says something a little bit about your partner and your relationship, but I don't know.
I think it's how you see the world. Like my farm brother and his religious wife, like they don't have opposite sex friends, and I think it'd be really weird if they got them. But mostly because I've never met a woman who didn't try to my brother since he was like a kid. So frankly, I understand, but I don't have that relationship. Like my partner and I have opposite sex friends. We can hang out with them alone. I think the worry though is not me, but them. Like, well, what if my male friend misunderstands the intent of me staying with them over a weekend for a collab or something, and then they think, oh, well, Brittany's flying out, Brittany's coming out, maybe we can, you know, even though she's in a relationship.
Yeah, but I mean, you just have to not do something, right?
Oh, or not be around people that I wouldn't be able to trust. I've been really lucky that.
Well, when you say not be able to trust, are you saying trust them not to hit on you or rape you?
Both. Do you remember the Lauren?
Bro, what?
Story, wasn't it that she let a fan fly her out to like stay at
That's a
his
fan,
place
not a friend.
for an event, and then he wanted to sleep